Jesus Christ of Nazareth. We are on YouTube now. We are live on YouTube. You're sorry, my people. You're popping here. We are live on YouTube. Is it YouTube? Yes, we are live on YouTube now. Thank you so much. We've been going back and forth all day today. I'm doing the people where I'm just going back and forth with these people, trying to make sure everything is okay. Thank you, Senator Dillon. I know you was in the background too, trying to make this work for me. Senator Dillon, big shout out to you. We are now on YouTube. Apologies. Hopefully, some of these guys come on. I'm just hoping somebody jump in here right now on YouTube so I can see it to make sure we are actually on YouTube. It says we are on YouTube now, but I've not seen somebody log in from YouTube. That would be great. Hey, Hawa, what's going on? Madam Bolakai. Golakai. Now Bolakai. I'm the Bolakai. Yo, Golakai. Madam Golakai, how everything with you, man? Charming Lovetta Collie, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Former Donso, Mr. Donso, welcome. Adolphus Elia. It's out of Burnham Beach every single time, man. Max, welcome to the show. Jebe Bakana, Rose Horace, welcome to the show, man. All you guys, we're almost time to start the show, and I will continue to welcome you guys as you come in here. But I want to say this. If I let's listen to Boba Malufre before I come to this.
At this point, I'm not going to jump ahead of the investigation.
Okay.
I mean, it is before investigators. They will delve into the nitty-gritty and provide findings to the press. As far as I know, I've been asked to leave. I'm a free man, and now I have the leverage to continue to advocate and to take stands in favor of justice and accountability.
Where is it?
And so I'm not going to speak to issues that are before the press.
The man say we're not talking about the arm. Yes, Mobile Molu case has been forwarded to court, but I want to say something, and some people will get mad at me for it, but I will say it anyways. You know, my hidden faith, nobody mouth. We all know the president was out there for the ECOWAS summit in Sierra Leone over the weekend. I think the president is back home now. Longi Sierra Leone President Joseph Yoman Boakai Sr. on Sunday, July 19, 2026, joined fellow head of state and government of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in a series of symbolic activity highlighting regional unity and integration during the 69th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority in Longi, Sierra Leone. As part of the official opening activity, President Bouaka participated in the planting of trees of regional integration, a symbolic initiative led by the former chairman of ECOWAS Authority, His Excellency Dr. Julius Malabio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. The tree of regional integration represents Pillar 3 of the ECOWAS Vision 2050, which focuses on economic integration. It reflects the community's commitment to strengthening regional trade, improving connectivity, promoting shared prosperity, and advancing sustainable development across West Africa. President Boakai also joined his fellow regional leaders in a ceremonial signing of the ECOWAS Unity Wall, a landmark feature commemorating the summit and symbolizing the collective aspiration of member states for a more united, peaceful, and prosperous West Africa. That's what this weekend out there in Longi, Sierra Leone. President Boakai was actually in the country. Big shout out to ECOWAS as they continue to have this collaboration. Yes, YouTube is now live. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Senator Dillon and the guys out there for helping me, man. Thank you. And most of our people are not aware. They probably tried to log in the beginning and could not log in. I say you're welcome. If you're coming, Kamasa, how are you doing? YouTube is on. Yeah, Adel Kabe, welcome. YouTube is on now. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. Although I want to say this. The tendency in Liberia for us to do this nonsense that I don't like and that nobody in Liberia should like if they believe in the interest of Liberia is what Samuel D. Twer continues to do. Samuel D. Twer posted this nonsense on his page today. I'm going to read a portion of it, and then I will comment on it because we will spend a lot of time. Hopefully, the Council of Mind can be here today. You know, as the president pushes to strengthen the institutions, especially the judicial institutions in Liberia, we will have an indicted criminal in the person of Samuel D. Twer doing everything he can to muddy the water, to get pity from the Liberian people who don't know what he has done to them. Samuel Twer literally is being accused of stealing millions of dollars. We can argue he did steal millions of dollars from the Liberian people. This is what he posted today. Now, if you're not aware, The court is expected to release its judgment tomorrow in an investigation as to whether or not the jury in the case of Samuel 12 was tampered with. To jump ahead what is coming out, he probably has an idea what the investigation is going to lead to. Samuel 12 decided to post this crap today. I personally believe Samuel 12 should be arrested for posting this, for accusing the vice president in this manner without any form of substantiation or any evidence to show that what he's saying has any validity. He can just do that because this is Liberia. You can just go ahead and accuse somebody for such a serious crime. This is interference at its highest level, deciding court cases in the country. If the vice president of the country wanted to decide or find you guilty, why he couldn't do it before the verdict came out? You answer that question. This is what Samuel 12 wrote today. Vice President, this is a direct quotation, Kuhn has instructed Judge Usman Fiaka to overturn a verdict of acquittal on a bogus and spurious allegation of jurist misconduct, though the judge finds no evidence linking me or my lawyers to any misconduct whatsoever that means. So what Samuel 12 is trying to tell the Liberian people, he already has the verdict in your hand. He said because the judge ain't found nothing. So he already has the verdict in your hand. And based on the verdict he has in his hand, the judge found nothing. But the vice president of the Republic of Liberia, the sitting vice president, his owner Jeremiah Kpankun, he said the vice president told the judge, no, told the thing when you now found us and convict and say Samuel 12 did this thing. How is this possible? How is this possible? Hey, my brother Kwame Akofo, we have not had a problem over the last couple of days. We had a show every single day, Thursday, Friday. But what happened was we were not on YouTube. I continue to admonish people, if you cannot catch this show on YouTube, switch to Facebook. Either location is going to be there. We had a major problem with YouTube, and YouTube just let us back in just now. But we always been on since Friday. Samuel 12 is telling the Liberian people, he says, Samuel 12 continues. Over the last month, the government has been derelict on what many in the government and some justices on the Supreme Court bench consider an unprecedented overreach that will doom the judiciary. Look at the kind of nonsense Samuel 12 is writing. Look at the kind of nonsense. These judges have thousands of cases to worry about, but he believes this is not even before the Supreme Court. This is before criminal court. See, the investigation is about jury tampering. So Samuel 12 is he wants the public to believe that he has the verdict that has not been released by the judge. And he's telling the Liberian people that his vice president of the Republic of Liberia has instructed the judge to overturn whatever verdict or acquittal that he thinks he has gotten. Under our law, if he tamper with the jury, the case will go back to court. So this is the kind of dangerous thing that the likes of Samuel 12 continue to do to this country. This is unacceptable. And I want young people that will follow Samuel 12 with his intent to walk scot-free after stealing millions of dollars from the Liberian people by creating these kind of chaos in the country. Liberians themselves must discourage this. We cannot continue like this. We cannot allow hardened criminals to come and go inside the Liberian coffers and tip out inside and lick the elbow all the way to God knows where. And then they come back, they won't walk scot-free, they pass around. If I were Jeremiah Kpankun, I can guarantee you I would file immediate charges against Samuel 12 before the court. I don't care if they call it witch hunt. In fact, I want them to hunt witches. Personally, I want people to hunt witches in Liberia. Any person who stands in the way of Liberia progress is a witch in my book. I want that person to be hunted, to be tried, and to be executed. That's me. That's my opinion. You don't have to like it. That is my personal opinion, because these people continue to stand in the way of Liberia, and they believe that Liberia should continue to falter. We should be stagnated in one place. We should go nowhere. This country should not develop, but they themselves should continue to live a lavish lifestyle that they would never ever have gotten in their entire life if they did not work in government. Samuel 12 should be in South Beach permanently for 40, 50 years. He should die in prison, but he's outside talking rubbish. I believe any official, former official, current official of government who takes from the Liberian people blatantly, that person should have no place, none whatsoever. I believe that core to my core, they should be addressed aggressively. There should be no reason that person should be walking around scot-free. The reason why Samuel Tour is talking all that rubbish is because Samuel Tour continue to walk around scot-free. If Samuel Tour were not walking around scot-free, if he was in prison, Samuel Tour would not be talking that nonsense he's talking. I guarantee you, he would not be talking that nonsense. But what we've done to this country, we allow men and women that have literally flees this country after they are stolen heavily from Liberia. What they have done, they go in and then they take from the country continuously, and then they use the money that they have taken from the Liberian people. They use that money to further subjugate the very people that they have taken full advantage of. This is unacceptable. This is crazy, and we cannot continue like this. We're about to start a show, and I want people to understand this. Liberia will not develop if we continue to have pity on anybody who hinders progress by negligence in office, by using the political office to exploit the country in whatever way they please. Once again, man, to our people, you're welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Before we start the show, once in a while, we will remind and never again.
We will never make that mistake again. Yeah, to elect CDC anymore. Yeah, they said pro-poor but brought more pain. Now JNB fixing what they left in shame. We will never make that mistake again. No more suffering in Liberia. We see the truth, we break the chain. Never again. Oh, never again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They said pro-poor, but it was pro-scandal. Selling our passports, money just vanished in the channel. Poor youths dying, overdose on drugs in the streets, while leaders ClassReloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
Oh, the ClassReloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JNB and JKK, they're making the way. The ClassReloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The ClassReloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The ClassReloaded.
Support development.
The ClassReloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The ClassReloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
ClassReloaded.
Support development.
The ClassReloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The ClassReloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JNB and JKK, they're making the way. The ClassReloaded, we shining today.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The ClassReloaded always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The ClassReloaded,
Truth, truth.
Liberia rising.
Thank you plenty for popping in here. What's going on with my? I should be on the screen now. What's going on with my camera? Is my camera on? Yes, my camera is on. Okay, what's going on, camera? Get me back on the screen. Let's do this and put myself back on the screen. Camera, come on in. Start creating all kind of problems for me. Blair, give me thumbs up if you can hear me. I just want to make sure I can see you. Can you give me thumbs up if you can hear me, Blair? Can you hear me? In the meantime, while this stuff is trickling down here, I know you cannot see me. Hopefully, you can hear me. Let me see what's going on here. You guys can hear me. I'm going to bring Blair on screen, but before I do that, another technical problem here again. This is not going well today for me at all. Let me see this. I'm okay here, and I should be able to get on the screen. So the layout. This one is here. This one is here. One person, two people. This is going okay. I know you guys can hear me because it seems to be okay. The volume is okay. But while I'm bringing Blair on, okay, thank you so much. Ernest Moore, thank you so much. I want to say this as the camera resets here before I bring Blair on the show. What we do in Liberia, I want to say this, and this is important during my lamentation today. I don't know what's going on with the camera. Once it comes on, I will be able to come in on the screen and go from there. Until Liberians fully understand that we must attach consequence to a man's actions, we will continue to be like this. We have to attach consequence to a man's action. We cannot feel pity for people. Yes, Dave, you still see me. We cannot feel pity for people who do not feel pity for us. I don't know how to explain this. I don't expect you to be a minister and eat dry rib. But while you're eating your whole eggs and cabbage, let the people be able to eat something too. I'll tell you a very quick story. When I had my operations in Buchanan, in Liberia rather, I used to eat on Broad Street. There used to be a place right across the street from the Providence Baptist Church. It was called Evelyn's. Evelyn had a restaurant there. I think they said she was related to the top man, a granddaughter or some relative of the top man. But I used to eat at a restaurant. Food was not very expensive. It was about $15. But for the typical Liberian, that was extremely expensive. And that's why I used to go eat almost 2 times a day or maybe every day, at a minimum every day. And I would swing by and eat. So I always wear a white t-shirt. And I will always wear a white t-shirt and just my slippers, or maybe I'll wear the sandals depending on how I feel that day, because I have my own operations. And being in Liberia, sometimes Liberia gets hot, and I felt like we just be in Liberia that way. The particular day I go in there, nearly every government official at the time used to eat there. Amara Connor was finance minister; he ate there too. Most of the guys used to come and eat there. The particular day I get in the place, it was me and my sister. This guy, I guess he works at one of the ministry. He just said, came up. He said, but they play already going down now. They play all kind of people can eat out. They get away, all kind of things now. Most of these guys, yeah, you will see me momentarily. I don't know what's going on with the camera, but we mess around with it. I will bring Blair on screen before I do that. In the meantime, let me bring Blair on screen and see if you guys can be able to see Blair. Now you can see Blair. So you can see Blair, but you cannot see me. Momentarily, I will log out and log back in. You guys will be able to see me. Something is happening. Blair is there. I'm back on the screen. For some reason, my camera is having a little fit, but we will fix that very soon. And the thing was, only one group of people should be able to eat in a specific proportion. Now, this guy that was talking, who literally come and work for me, this is not a boast. I'm saying this because at the time I had 27 employees. Nobody made less than $250. Business was good. You could make sometimes $60,000 a month. So business was very good. So, I would go eat there all the time. And the reason why I'm saying this is some of these guys that eventually come to government, what they do is when they come to government, they leverage that little position and they use that position to subjugate the rest of the country. He was saying this. He was saying this to me, that only certain people should be allowed to eat certain way. Look, let me tell you something, Liberians. If you sell palm kernel oil, and you leverage that kind of oil position to become a millionaire or a thousandaire, where you can live a quality life in Liberia, I give you 10 times more respect than if you were a minister and you're living a millionaire lifestyle. Let me rephrase it this way, because I know what it took for you to be able to get to the position you've gotten. So when people sit in Liberia and believe that certain people should not be able to do certain things in the country simply because they hold everything and they are responsible for everything, I'm going to keep reminding people, Liberian people in Liberia do not feel pity for the likes of Samuel Twe that used our poverty to his advantage, use our poverty to literally destroy this country, use our poverty to take advantage of what is happening to the Liberian people. We cannot continue to allow this. Samuel Twe is insulting the entire country by doing this. He's insulting the entire country. I've never met the man before personally. I've seen him maybe from a distance. I've never met the man in my life. But these kind of men should not be at the helm of power in our country. That will not respect the judge's order has not come out. Samuel Twe is behaving as though he's seen the verdict before the verdict is released from the judge. This is dangerous for our society. He needs to stop. This is a crime under Liberian law for accusing somebody this falsely without any substantiation whatsoever. This has to stop. To my brother Abraham, welcome to the show, Honorable Man. Blair, I'm going to give it over to you. I'm going to try to face my stuff on this end.
Yeah, muted. Thanks for reminding me. I'm not used to that because I always like to respect the silence and the voice quality of the person that will be speaking. So I always like to mute myself. And good evening, Councilor Ma, and good evening, Mzi. I'm glad to be here tonight. While Dwalu is trying to take the screen there. For senior, the senior on the show tonight is the man who our eyes open to when it comes to the broadcasting thing. The man is the dawn of the radio. It would be disrespectful if I sit on this platform right now and be so. Councilor Man, let's see. It still runs through your vein. I know it.
Oh, Blair, what's up, my man? It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you've done all your life, so it is part of my life. I mean, broadcast is part of my life, and I really love to do this. I really love to do this. And let me say good evening to you, Albert, and to you, Mizzy, and everybody else who's coming on the show, and to Dwalu. I don't know why his face gone black, but and to our cherished listeners across the world, especially in Liberia and in the diaspora. If it is not for you, we will not be here. And I always like to appreciate you people for being here, and together we can build our country and make it better. So Blair, since you are now the co-host,
No, you that I put it what to you.
Oh, why you put it over to me? All right. So before as the co-host, before I get on to anything else, let me also say, Mizzy, welcome. Mizzy, is it Mose or Mizzy?
It's the name as Mze.
What? Mze?
Mze.
Okay, Mze. All right,
Yeah.
Mze, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and so it's good to see you. Let's hear what's on your mind today, and like Dwalu will say, what is hurting your head? Then we'll go back. Then I'll go to Dwalu before I come back to myself.
Okay.
Over to him.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, nothing happened to the thing on like I said, YouTube was giving problem.
No, it was the entire system. It was not only with us.
Okay.
Because I know that there are certain broadcasts that I follow around the world.
Yeah.
And especially from Kenya, South Africa, and Ghana.
Yeah.
And on the weekend, YouTube was not broadcasting with them, and they were also, trying to fix it. So it was the YouTube itself. It was not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So lucky that we are back on YouTube now, and we are happy to be back on YouTube. And y'all please share the show to all our old man, and while they're watching it on the B screen TV, I say y'all sorry. I know there are thousands of y'all.
Yeah, y'all put on the TV now.
Y'all put on the TV, call the grandchildren. But I want to remind y'all, anytime your YouTube now on, go to Facebook, call your grandchildren. Say the Nintendo
Some people ain't get Facebook. You know, some people there's so many Facebook thing, and you know the Facebook too. For the Facebook to get on the TV, it's hard.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's the big screen on. That is my boy.
They can still put it there. Patrick is here with us today. Patrick, what's going on with you? Welcome to the show.
So let me turn it over to Dwalu again. Then we go around.
We are back when you help us share the show. Whenever you don't see us on YouTube, please. Facebook. It was not us. It's actually we did come on Thursday and Friday, even though Councilor Man was not here. But me, Blair, and Albert were here, and we're looking forward to you being here. But Patrick, you know what? Let's start with Patrick, even though you came a little bit late. Patrick, what do you have to your head?
It was
Go ahead.
It was I the one that I'm giving to. So
okay. Go ahead, Honorable. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah. But what is hitting my head today is have to do with the Fina bonus stuff. Fina, I just believe that Fina is very, very much ingrate. Fina, she is an ingrate because she, in her statement, she was saying that the seditions, the tower of the CDC, are not with her. But wait a minute. When the prayer warrior that came from the fucking clone church, who do you think that instrumental then for them to be able to come with you to the ground of the Supreme Court or of the ground of the judiciary? Moreover, the party chairperson was in attendance. The former finance minister was in attendance. Then you said that the sedition and they did not treat you fairly, and then you went on by calling our daddy need, calling our father need.
Where beef?
That you wear the shoe?
Where beef? Yeah, man.
But now daddy too. The president is the president for everybody.
She is president for everybody. That is a fact. But hey, if you want to beg for sentiment, there's a way in order for you to be able to do that. Then for you to be flat-flipping and then going here and going there. I just believe that she did not treat the CDC fairly.
No, it's not about fairness. It was not. Look, and before we go up to the guys up there, you commit crime in Liberia despite what you think that you're part of a political organization that you won't carry that Kenya. That on the party will help you carry that Kenya. This thing, but they're on the party. They think about people didn't come to my ill. What is it calling about to my ill? Yeah, people didn't come to my ill. I don't know. People didn't come to my ill. Don't come to your ill. That ill will eat it. I was there with eat it once. That come out to you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to be here. When he turned it over to me, based on seniority, I couldn't hold it because it would have been an axe that would come on my neck, and so I had to turn it over to the counselor. But it's beautiful to be here tonight. Welcome, guys. I know it's going to be an intriguing night. We're going to discuss trending issues here tonight. Look, MZ, I know you're getting fair for. I think I get fair for a. Ain't see me pushing fire in the people camp. I want for the people to get very and explode. Then I can't what they come. But anyway, Patrick, it's nice seeing you, my brother. Because the man not talking on the man not here heading go for 10 minutes. So I'm glad to be here tonight with amazing men here on the platform tonight. We're going to be providing our insights with respect to what will be discussed tonight that will be coming from the host. And I'm just glad to be here tonight to be along.
Yeah, as always, like I said, if you got special comments or special topic, just put it in the group chat. We can elevate it. We'll go from there. Patrick, let's come to you before we go to Councilor Man here tonight.
Thank you, Dwalu, and let me say good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, to the team up there. It's so I would time myself. It's just around 8 minutes. Yeah. So a lot of things trending today and on my chest. The first one is the Samuel Twe thing, which I will really want to come to later on. I saw a statement by Samuel Twe. Mm-hmm. So talking about the Samuel Twe thing, tomorrow there will be the outcome from the investigation that will be released by George Fakai of Criminal Code C involving jury tampering. So we look forward to hearing the outcome of that investigation tomorrow. Already, Samuel Twe has come up to claim that, in fact, it was very definitive and defined
Terry.
in a particular paragraph in that statement. I know we find some time to really deal with this, but he has come up to make some really derogatory comments, pointing accusing fingers at the vice president, which he did not do when he was cleared by the jurors, the quote unquote jurors. I will also look forward to hearing an intriguing discussion on this platform tonight on what could possibly happen in the event where the judge, the investigation shows that indeed there was jury tampering. What could eventually happen to the jurors or to the lawyer or to Twe himself? That's something we need to discuss. Tomorrow, the Golden Image Award sets the basis for the start of the celebration of this year's 179th independence celebration of our dear beloved country that is taking us to Grand Bassa County. We'll be going to Grand Bassa on Friday, and Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday, that Monday,
I
and
get it
then
my way.
so we'll be going. Stevie already captaining the team because the executive playing the legislature. But I hope you guys, I wish you guys were here so that all of us can take a road show to Grand Bassa County and already the projects that will be dedicated in Buchanan. Kudos to the superintendent. I'm watching what's happening in Buchanan.
Yeah.
Besides just the electrification, the superintendent compound, there is a park, there is a school, and the yellow machines, Bassa on a yellow machine will go
The
and
sport
all of
pitch.
that. President Boakai is going to Buchanan like a real man. He's going heavy for the celebration of the independence. And I hope the people of Bassa will pay keen note to what it is going to be like. Also, there is a digital summit that is taking place. His Excellency will grace the summit at the ministerial complex tomorrow. That summit is hosted by the Ministry of Post and Telecommunications. We are the co-host, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, and so we will be there tomorrow as well. Too many things happening in our country. I will pause for now because they meant about time. Exactly 8:52, 2 minutes.
Yes,
Don't mind me,
yes,
oh.
yes. 2018 is happening in Buchanan, and Buchanan is on par with nothing. Look, it is the greatest county in the republic. Oh, yeah, shut up. Councilor Ma, let hey ever you. Buchanan, man. But beginning, yeah, man, I'm mess up. I'm spoiling the all bag for you.
Well, Dwalu, the two things that are on my mind, I will only talk about one. The other one, as Patrick said, because of time. But the first one is the Senate action against the Director General of the CSA. And then the second one is the growing concern about the increasing violence when it comes to enforcement of court rulings and judgments, especially with land issues. But I will speak on the first one. Last Thursday, I ended with this, Dwalu, that as we strive to build our democracy, nations are not built and developed on strong men or strong women. Nations are built and developed on strong institutions and resilient systems. I think it is unfortunate that as we try to build strong institutions and resilient systems, then we, the same people, turn to undermine it. Liberia is known for setting bad precedents, and once we don't speak about it, we continue to do it over and again and think it is right. The Senate does not have any legal authority to hold anybody for violating any law in the republic. The Constitution of Liberia mandated the legislature to set a code of conduct that would guide public officials. The legislature did. And then they set up an institution that will scrupulously enforce that code of conduct. And that institution is the only institution solely clothed with the authority and the responsibility to investigate alleged violations of the Code of Conduct. And that was emphasized in 2017 by the Supreme Court of Liberia, when the then Superintendent Selina Paulson Mape took the Code of Conduct to the constitutionality to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court emphasized that the only institution solely clothed with the responsibility to judge whether somebody has fallen foul of the Code of Conduct is the Office of the Ombudsman. And now for the Liberian Senate to take the responsibility now to start investigating alleged violation of the Code of Conduct and then start issuing penalties, I think that you undermine the institution that you created. And, you know, it would have been one of the greatest things in democracy if the Senate had complained the Director General. I'm not saying he did or he did not, but if the Senate had complained him to the Office of the Ombudsman, then you strengthen the institution, you give it that system the resilience to work. But if the Senate starts to do the work of the Ombudsman, which I think it's unconstitutional, I mean, it's a violation of the law, then the next thing is that the legislature, don't be surprised when they start investigating Patrick Horner for something else, investigating Mo Ali for something else, somebody for nepotism, for corruption. You know, we start these things and we don't talk about it, but then we set them as precedents and then they continue to fester. And I think it is wrong. I don't know whether the president will go by it or not, but I think the Senate usurped the authority and the function of the Office of the Ombudsman, and now they have undermined that institution by the Senate now taking upon itself now to start to investigate alleged breaches of the Code of Conduct. That does not fall in the purview of the legislature. It does not fall in the purview of any of the houses of the legislature. And that is why they created that institution. And I think by undermining that institution and bringing men to show that they have authority and power, I think it is wrong. It is wrong. I know there's a motion for reconsideration. I'm not bashing on the Senate, but I think in Liberia, we need to stand up for some of these things so that we don't cross the line and set these precedents that we continue to do and do, then becomes normal. You see, the House now do the same thing they did 2011 with resolution for seats. That's they say they do resolution and set scalable, I know what they call scalable threshold. Now I understand now where coming from now. They do scalable threshold to create 16 seats. We'll be doing these things and we'll not challenge these things, and they become a recurring thing. We just keep it quiet because people don't want issue. They don't want to talk about this. A bad president and strong men don't build nations. We need to build our institutions, make them stronger, and make the system resilient. And I think the Senate, if they mean well for the Liberian people, they should reconsider that and complain the man to the Ombudsman office and let those people do their work. If they are not able to do the work, you remove them and put people who you think can do the work. But for the Senate to take that job to do it, I think it is wrong and it's far overreaching their authority. Thank you, Dwalu.
Yeah,
I will not get into the other one with the
this was
crisis
actually
with
going to be, it was going to be the first topic here tonight, and we will come back right to that right away. And I agree with you almost everything you said. The first thing I thought about was if they have sent this thing to the ombudsman, and like you said, strong men don't build society, strong institutions do. And you strengthen that office heavily, which was actually set up by the legislature to do something. Now, if you are diluting that entity, the problem, I mean, the reason why it does is it's not important. But before we go to that topic, I want to make this announcement coming from the Central Bank of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia National Reserve continues to climb. They are saying we could possibly hit $1 billion. So it goes by again to responsible government. We're going to spend just, maybe one minute on this topic because this is important. Because I want Liberian people to understand when you take responsible men and women and you give them power, the institutions, everything that President Bwaka is doing, it is strengthening institution, not an individual, because President Bwaka will come and President Bwaka will go. But if the institution is strengthening, if you guys remember when President Weah was in power, our National Reserve was brought down all the way to almost about $100 million, which is like no money. In less than 3 years, the Central Bank of the Republic of Liberia is stating that the Liberian National Reserve is on the verge of hitting $1 billion milestone while improving import cover and economic resilience. Patrick, let me start with you today. I know there are a lot of things that we need fixing in the country, but it seems the president has not forgotten about the institution that going to make Liberia strong. The National Reserve continues to climb from 100 million under President Weah that was depleted, or $500 million was there under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. This boy came in, and just withdrew from that. Now it's beginning to climb almost to $1 billion. Patrick.
For me, this is a remarkable achievement, and it speaks to fiscal discipline. And I like to give it out to the team, not only at the Central Bank of Liberia, but also to at the Ministry of Finance. You know, every time Minister Gafuan tells us that he's budgeting for paying debts, whether it's domestic debts or foreign debts, some of those debts were owed as far back as during Mr. Taylor's era. I had a situation 2 months ago when a particular person who in 1997 was owed, the man never believed that his debt was cleared. He never ever thought, in fact, when he went to receive his check at the Ministry of Finance, he told somebody there that he never ever thought in his lifetime he would have received his check. Minister Gafwa is going back to pay all our debts, whether it's with the international community, trying as much as possible so that we become responsible as a nation. People don't see that. All they see the negatives. Today we're talking about hitting $1 billion in our reserves. Coming from 2 years when we're just struggling all around here, with a talkative intwe, which we will talk about later on, beating chest and moving from one end to another. Now we come to someone who's passionate about the job, who's doing the job, and he's put this out. There is also another side of this, and the other side of it is critics, cynics, skeptics will always say, we seem to be growing 5.2%. Our economy is growing 5.2%. Our reserves growing. But how does it directly affect the pockets of our people? Let me say something about this. In no country, everybody their pockets will be affected 100%. You all live in advanced countries. You see that people are sleeping on the streets. It means that they are poor. It means that there's something wrong with their finances. So, I know the poverty rate in Liberia is high and you cannot compare, but I think what this is doing is providing an opportunity, exposing our country to the world that we are responsible. And also, the government is making strides. Call it steady progress by creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for investors to come. That is why when the people went to protest, one tear gas they didn't fire. One, because there was no need. There was no need because the people were small arrest green to the particular place. You couldn't even run behind them. So,
leave Lapu alone.
Don't call a woman knee. I didn't say the poor small arrest green. No, but we're proud that we work in a system that is so responsible. These things appear very easy, but some of the people who have loud mouths, who say all the best they were tried over the last 6 years, and the system failed terribly. To the extent that even our international partners, our embassies, more than 9 embassies wrote a communication to the government of Liberia, warning the government of Liberia not to go in the reserves and take their money. That happened in our country.
Thank you so much, Patrick. But look, I want to say this to my brother Bwaka Huron. Yes, it's being felt in the lives of the people. Now, Patrick mentioned something, and I want to say this. A lot of people don't know why, Blair, I'm coming to you, why national reserves exist. And people, you think when you hear national reserve, what I want got to do with me, I've plenty to do with you. Yes, is why when every time the national reserve climbs, this is what it's doing to the country. it strengthens your local currency. That means the power where you get a bad thing, the Bopo call it purchasing power. That means it's going to increase because our reserves are climbing. Number two, it controls inflation. That means for the prices to go up in the country, the National Reserve is getting plenty. It's going to control how much money you pay out there, because if the National Reserve is small, you will pay more money for the things you want to pay for. It avoids financial panic. You say, you know what, we're strong. We got something in the reserve. Our country is very, very strong. That's why it does to the population. Additionally, they avoid something that the financial people call bank run. So when you don't trust the banking system in your country, what happens is people go to take the money, they put it in the mattress. And every time you take your money, you put it under your mattress. What are you doing here? You are weakening the system. The bank need that money to be turning that money around so that money can help the country. Additionally, it avoids something called external market shocks. Liberia, we don't make nothing in the country. We got to load OSA and buy thing in from OSA and bring it in. So basically, this reserve controls the monetary policies of our country heavily, and it also have a very big impact on the fiscal policy. That means from the finance ministry, and it also from the monetary side, from the Central Bank of Liberia. So there is a balance there. That's what it does to the country. If you're asking what this bank reserve does for society, Blair, let's come to you there for a second to have a say. Honorable Dango, welcome to the show, sir. On mute.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Building
It's good to be back.
Building a middle class. People just think that a government that just come to power and government officials are stealing money over the place and money is being floating all over the place. That's what they meant by building a middle class. What you're seeing there, people are complaining now. It has a far-reaching effect positively for the future outcome of the country. Because what is happening now, we're building up our Federal Reserve up to a 1 billion. What we're doing there is that our reserve is going to back the local currency. What is going to happen there is going to increase the purchasing power of people, because those who are the local economy is able to get money direct, although we'll still be going to the money exchange to look for the money, but at least at a certain level, the Central Bank of Liberia is able to cope with the local investors to be able to have the currency to go back overseas to get goods and services to come back into the country. Now, number two, what is happening there is that the U.S. rate against the Liberian dollar, the country's monetary policy, the currency is going to pull up with it. Now, if investors are those in the country who are going overseas to come back, if they are not really suffering to go on the local market to buy a high currency level, they can get it at the level of the central bank. The price on the market is going to lower bit by bit. It means that the local people are able to carry, even if $5 cannot get you something good today, in 2 years, 3 years, if we can go to 1 billion, 2 billion, $5 US to get you something good to make of food for the day. So I'm actually looking at the locals. How is it going to benefit the locals? So I think it is a very good thing. That is why we need to keep educating our people, because people just feel that when the government is in power and the money is floating all around, it means that the country is going all well. But it is affecting the country because those monies that are floating around, the people are not getting it through the rightful means. Now, it's going to affect civil service, those who are working in the public sector. The one that we spoke about it here, about the payment of people, okay, those who work in the public sector. Now, as the reserve increase, I hope as we go back, it's not just going to be the catch, but our natural resources also, that the gold, the diamond, the savers are going to go into the Federal Reserve, because those are the most tangent reserve that we can really look at. And as we go back, I think we'll be able to get into all of those things. But I think what is happening now, it just shows that the fiscal policy and the monetary policy is carrying our country in the rightful direction, and we are able to drive our economy that is going to affect the local economy. And as it affects the local economy, that means the people, the ordinary people, are going to benefit.
Thank you, Blair. And we're going to come to you, MMZ. I'm going to say that to my brother Stephen Gorto. I posted your comment on the screen for a specific reason. There is not a single person in the Republic of Liberia whose life has not improved since President Bouaga came to power. Now, if you say, well, to quantify how their lives have improved, then I would say, my man, don't waste my time. Because when it comes to clean water provision, that's a qualifier. When it comes to electrification, that's a qualifier. When it comes to road connectivity, that's a qualifier. When it comes to the reduction in the proliferation of drugs in our society, that's a qualifier. When it comes to maintaining prices on the Liberian market to make sure our inflation rate is not climbing all the time, that's a qualifier. The staple foods across the country, the bread basket. So every single person in Liberia, life has substantially improved by comparison to what it was before. Now, I don't know how you quantify in terms of improvement. If that means that President Baga has to come to each person's house and cook chore and grill for them, that's a whole nother indicator we can come away in the future.
Dalu, just 1 minute. Just one minute.
Go ahead.
When he talks about surrogating government performance, let him try to relate electricity during George Weah's administration and President Bouaga's administration. Is that surrogating government's performance? If he looks at the level of water, LWFC, what is being produced in the country, let's go all the way into the southeast, what is being built there. Is that surrogating government performance? The users of words must be very careful with them. Okay, not because you know the word.
I think he said sugar coating.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he says sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But he said sugar coating government's performance.
Yeah, no, that's not our intent. Our intent is for you yourself to measure. Nobody's going to sugar coat it. Go ahead, Mr. Name.
I must join in there because I am a change agent.
Thank you.
A direct change agent.
Thank you.
And when we make this effort,
ambassador
we try to
Senate ambassador to the ClassReloaded.
Yeah. when we make these efforts, that we showcase, because the kind of things we're talking about, they're not intangible things that to say you can't see. They are there for you to see. So, for example, I've been moving between Grand Bassa and Lofa County over the last couple of days. Okay, I was up in Lofa, where we showcase, the progress we are making, in completion of our solar and battery energy storage. This is now on the internet for people to see. They're not something saying that we can put in his pocket. Today, we announced the commencement of the installation of 500 street lights in those 5 major load centers. Okay, so Vanjama, Kolahun, Masabolahun, Foya, and all those places.
And
that has never happened.
The same one in Moria.
Top quality street lights. That has not happened. All right. And in Buchanan has been a dark place with small individual intervention. This is all changing. All right. So we're talking about a potential connection over 12,000 homes, businesses, and public facilities. It's been expanded there. We talk about Greenville. With all these places, nothing has happened. All this groundbreaking ceremony, the president is going to Salaye, to groundbreak for the second segment of pavement from Salaye to Konya. Since I don't know when, those areas, so you can't say that and say this is sugar coating. Then he's been grossly unfair. It's been grossly unfair. If someone is taking a couple of hours to get to Zwedru to move on to Hapo, all right, what are you talking about? This thing he's showing is outside of Vanjama. This is 5,700 plus solar modules installed there. This is going to provide electricity for people. You know what it means when you have access to electricity? Then you say nothing happening? Or you sugarcoating? What is sugarcoating over there? What is presented here is the facts, nothing but facts. So Grand Bassa, for example, received their 30 pieces of earth-moving equipment tomorrow, day after tomorrow. What is sugarcoating about that?
So people,
I'm coming. The hate is there. The hate is there, but we will not allow them to even try to water down the efforts that we are making. It's unacceptable. We will not allow that. We can't.
Just for 30 seconds to just buttress what's said. 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, part of what we are here to do is to explain to the people of this country
That's right.
the difference that they should see in their country. And I'm sure people in the rural parts of our country, if they were to watch this show or hear on the various radio stations, they will attest to the immense progress. If you just go, you name a sector, and I'll tell you what's happening there in 2 years,
Name a sector.
6 months. Name one area, and I'll tell you war crimes code. Name one area, rule of law. Name one area, foreign ministry. Name one area, public works. Name one area, and I'm going to tell you what's happening in 2 years, 6 months, and then we backtrack like none ever. Our country is on a forward march, folks. And before this show closes, I will just on the top of my head, and maybe the minister will jot down these things, but just on the top of my head, you will name one sector, health. I will tell you that they're rebuilding the hospital in Mount Gibby County. They're making it better. Sports, I will tell you they're building 5-story sports academy. 5-story sports academy, 2 pitches. They're not only building it in Montserrat, they're building it in Grand Cape Mount County, they're building it in Bon County. They're giving each of those young people $9. $9. And then the children will be on campus, on the place there. So name a sector, and I'll tell you the progress that is being made there.
But
I'm coming to you, Menzi. This is the time for good honorable man. Look, guys, and this thing is, and I love what Honorable Nangwe said and Patrick said, our goal is to open your eye and compare one-to-one. For instance, like my brother Morris and Jack has said, the transport sector is not improving. When you say that, then we will tell you, say, listen, we don't have that kind of time to spend, because now, if you're doing that to just create, who has brought more buses than the president?
But look at the way BJ's
the road connection. So that comes to you, Messi. The road connection alone, that's
what is about the transport sector that is not improving? Don't just say transport sector not improving. What aspect of the transport sector that is not improving? What aspect?
Let us be able to look at the gasoline, for example. There had not been a shortage of gas since this government took over. There had not been a shortage of rice, our more consumable products on the market. There had not been a shortage of it since this government took over. You want for us to go more? There have been a serious price reductions in the price of gasoline and fuel oil. All right. When they used to buy gasoline for $2,000 in the southeast, go there now today.
2,800 according to Zopel.
But for our central bank to be anticipating reaching 1 billion is a huge work that the men and women of central bank are done.
That's right.
It's not just that, but this will attract. This is a gateway for investors. This is opening more door for more bank, because when your local currencies, when it has certain value, it attract investors and banking industries for them to be able to pull into your country. So this is not just kudos to the men and women that are working at our banking sector, but this is to prove to the Liberian people that GAF is working in the interest of the Liberian people. Because like my friend and brother Patrick was saying, people have now decided people can now be able to get their back pay that they did not, their retirement benefit that they did not receive years and years back. Now in this administration, people, in fact, it was on one of the podcasts that I get to know and I get to understand that the legislature, you know that when they are not elected, they are entitled to certain benefits. The legislature, the past legislature that have not been successful in the re-elections, some of them came out and were able to make it clear that it was this government that decided to receive their salary. So for me, this is a huge investment for our country. And let me say kudos to the Central Bank of Liberia.
Yes, thank you, Councilor Man. We're going to come to you on the $1 billion National Reserve. And I see some of you guys comment. If you're being genuine, we address it because that's why we're here. Let's be genuine about it because Liberia is a serious business. Now, before we go to Councilor Man, I want to say this. The depletion of corruption or the eradication of corruption completely from Liberia is not going to happen in a 6-year term. However, can you deny that progress is being made towards that direction? If I work in government today, if I'm accused of something, President Parker lets me go immediately for investigation, and if need be, he sends me before the court. That is all he can do. He cannot extrajudicially come out and comb my head. So something is being done in the front of corruption now. Maybe not to our liking. We won't be more gung-ho about it. I get it. He said, oh, the judicial system is not working. I would say, no, that is not true. Maybe we need to speed up. Maybe we need more courts. Maybe we need more of this. But you cannot say nothing is being done in our atmosphere. Honorable Man, your comment before we go to the first major topic of the night.
So, Dwalu, briefly, what I would say, I think you guys have said more, is that, in our country, because of this over-patronage system, the Liberian men believe that everybody must get their money and give it to you cash. When you divide money with people, then they say, yeah, the man is a good man, And as I said before, people who just get up and was spending money, they didn't work for it.
No.
It was not their sweat. That's how come we had a lot of dysfunction in the system.
Yeah.
People were spending money because they didn't care. It was just coming. Business people want to do business. They will push them to pay them money so they have money to spend. People are working for it. And it would take us time. I don't think we can get angry with people. People don't understand how government works for the people. All right. Even the reserve for the central bank, they're not government money. Not government Liberian money. They can go and collect it and say they come divide. No, the central bank is there to stabilize and manage the economy of the country.
Yes.
All right. How does it work? How does it benefit the ordinary people? Because the central bank has great reserves. When the oil prices are going up in the world market, the central bank is able to cushion it in Liberia so it doesn't go way up. That is how it works, because they have strong reserves. If the business people have to import, don't forget we are an import-driven economy. Almost everything we consume, we import it. Almost 90-something% of whatever we use, we import it.
Yeah,
so for people to go be looking for US dollar all over, if you don't have that reserve, they will cost more to import and prices of goods will go higher. So the market people will suffer more. All right. And then when you have a good reserve, also the banks become stronger. Then people get confidence in the banking system. And then the people who are working or the market people who are doing business begin to build credit. Look, all around the world nowadays, people don't use physical cash to do many things.
They do not.
You build credits so that people can get a credit card. You can go take a car and be driving it and take 10 years to pay for that car. You can live in the best homes and take 20 years to pay for your home. Because why? The economy is strong, the credits are good. That is what the bank needs to do. And that is what the bank is doing. And then when the government, on the other hand, starts to show up its revenue and start to build up its budget, then the people in Bapolu that now, for the first time in my life, I see a mud house, has a pipe in the house, they can open and water can flow. I've never seen that in my lifetime before. For a mud house to have pipe and open and water flow, there are more in Bapolu. So when the people do that, that is how the citizens benefit, because that old lady, all her life, she's been struggling to get water. Her children been going to pour water on the hay. She's been seizing the children football for them to bring her water. Now, she put a pipe in her house. She's happy to pay for it, because now she feels proud that she can wake up in the morning anytime and just open that tap and the water will flow. That is how the government, that's how your taxes and your money work for the people. I understand about job creation. And this is why these are also good. Because when you have a strong economy and your economy starts to grow, and let me tell you something, Dwalu. I tell everybody, once your standard of living starts to go up and you start to create a higher middle class or a larger middle class, the cost of living will rise. And when the cost of living rise, that is what draws investors to your country, because people know that you have money to spend in your country. All right. So yes, the government, but we can't sit there and say the government has raised 1 billion. So government open factory, government create job here, employ more people in the civil service. It doesn't work that way. I agree. And I have always campaigned and championed that there are many ways that the government should be intentional about creating a middle class, building a Liberian middle class. I said, for one, I don't think that going forward, the Ministry of Public Works should be patching roads. We have many, many engineers. Put them together, let them open companies, give them the work to do, hold them responsible. Let's build Liberian engineers and give them contracts so that they build their capacity. Then next time we're to build major highways, they can partner with international companies and get 10% in that company or 5%, but that's growth. The government has to buy cars for junior ministers and junior directors and other people, revisit the procurement law. The whole thing about brand new cars won't help. But I can tell you, if you turn $15,000, $20,000 to a junior minister, and you tell used car people that government has $2 million in the budget to buy cars and want quality cars, those Liberians will bring it. But what will happen is that you'll be empowering those young Liberians, and you'll be empowering their businesses. We have to intentionally do those kinds of things that are low-hanging fruits, yes, to create those jobs. But when you hear money, the central bank going to 1 billion, it doesn't mean the money there to devour. So you say, let Liberian people benefit, so everybody come on the road and say, let me devour money. It doesn't work that way. This is how it will work. But also what we need to tell our young people is that is when you see the opportunity and start to prepare yourself now to get into the market as to whatever you can do. All right. And the last time we're on this program, we talk about specialized institutions. Focus a technical institution in Nimba County that will train geologists and everybody else so that we supply our different mining areas. So those are the kinds of things we should look at in our country. And I hope that Mize said, and I've always said, I don't see why we have gold in abundance, we have diamonds, and we don't have a gold reserve. It's about time that the central bank also start to diversify its reserve from only physical cash to also start to get the high precious mineral, especially gold. All right. And that will help us a whole lot to become a better country. We can do it. But what this has shown us is that when you put serious people somewhere and you give them the ability to work, Liberia is not impossible to turn around.
Absolutely not.
Just imagine in just under a year, I can say under a year, budget crossed 1 billion, central bank reserve reaching 1 billion. Just imagine what will happen in the next 3 years. All
Absolutely.
Right?
Even the LRA money continues to climb. Yep.
It is possible, and we can do it. So we must just give these people the chance to work and always set a higher benchmark. It doesn't mean we should also settle for mediocrity, but we should also keep people going forward. But Liberians, let's understand that when they say the country is the reserve is growing and things, it's not money to divide on the street. It will not happen that way. But we must take advantage and we'll build our country together.
Thank you, Councilor Ma. And additionally, as this reserve grow, the LRA is collecting a record revenue. It continues to climb as well. Big shout out to Honorable Double Jala and his team out there. The government is functional literally on every cylinder. It is happening across the country. The Councilor Ma said, the likes of Patrick Holman said, the way the system works, you strengthen the institutions and everything will happen. And I love the way Patrick put it. Name any single government functionary, if you want to call it that, that is not doing something, and let's tackle that. I'm talking about being serious about it, not in a joking fashion, because for me, I don't joke about Liberia. Name me any government entity that is not working. If they are not working, we'll make noise about it because they need to work. And Councilor Ma mentioned about the lady all the way out there in Grand Cayman County. Sometimes it's only fitting that we play these reminders. I will play 1 minute of it before we go to the actual topic. In Bapulu County. And one more.
Just before you play, Dwalu, there's one thing I wanted to say. There was this lady who came to Liberia. I think she came from the diaspora and started this service industry where she recruits maids or nannies and people and train them, and then they put them to your homes, right? Today, that young woman, the last time I was following a particular program, and you'll be amazed how well she's doing. That people, because people don't trust people to leave their children with them in the homes. Now she takes the responsibility. So you go to her company, and if you want somebody to take care of your children, you want somebody to take care of your home, you want people to come press your clothes or do your laundry and bring it back, she does that service industry. That is work. That is employment. And man, hopefully, who knows, government itself can start to diversify that and say, look, librarians open these kinds of things so that people clean government ministries. You got a whole contract to take care of the whole bunch of ministries here. We don't want government employing these people, so people will do that. That is how you empower people. People should not sit down and just wait for 26 to be coming and then be asking people, send my 26, send my 26. Then they follow beyond Patriot and go under the tree. Everybody come there and say the people too mean. You know, that is not how we're going to build our country. Honestly.
And Councilor Mom, what you said in the beginning, nobody that working for the hard-earned money and that want to give the people for free. I'm talking about the exact money what they paying now. When you see somebody spraying money, get a man doing what doing kakata. That money there, that money in where for? That money come from freeware. Let's listen to it for about 30 seconds before we go to the first topic because this is important. Water in Bapolu County. I know to those of us in the West that are nothing, but this is a big deal. I'm talking about running water.
Rural community, so water is around, and I'm sure you're going to go around to see for yourself.
You go water bene or high in Bapolu get one bucket of water, that one for more. When you go a bit at it, you get 3 buckets. You wouldn't draw 2, the bonanti being back. But send the water bene in the country here. Who can't stop water, la rata area, like the city mirror area. So you see, I didn't make out running, I put my pump, I go for the water. I broke away there, but then when you do the water, I'm taking the water to go while my pump. You are doing well to your restaurant.
It's helpful because my son interested in a already. Because the whole thing, I have one where they see the whole thing in land for water beneath and that's what
I decided to put a pump here. That my own personal pump here now. Anytime I wake up, I want to draw water, I will open my pump. And the water I drink it.
Make sure I tell it, comment, thank you. Because the water was living for all the water they spoil here. That my home here. All the water they spoil the water, all the water. So now 2 days, 3 days, I have to crown the small water for me. Before they bring water for me, I got to sit down while they're on the kicking football. I grab it. I say, go bring me 2 buckets of water before I get here the football. And they can do it. That's all. But now they put account. Very happy. When I lay down, I feel sun.
Those people in Moria ain't got pump water that die in the house. I'm a first time seeing in model. Maybe somebody not see you.
Yeah. But Patrick, remember that the same money they sell Mo stole. You remember when Mo was building that team in Bapolu? Yeah. And this is what our people enjoying today. This is improvement in the lives of our people. This is progress, y'all. I know sometimes we create a difficulty, but I go to a major topic. It's a little bit controversial, but it's absolutely necessary. Look, Honorable Man, you began this conversation with the Senate. I have no qualms with the Senate having an investigation regarding any Liberian government official. However, the very Senate and the House of Representatives have set up these institutions to do their job under the executive branch of government. And I agree with you, Honorable Man. If the Senate had any kind of issue with the CSA director, Dr. Jokai, send him over to the ombudsman, make the recommendation to the ombudsman would be the best thing to do instead of having their own investigation and then having their own recommendation for suspension, expulsion, or completed firing from his job. Now, here's the thing, Honorable Man, I know you already said it, but should the Senate be doing this or should we be strengthening the institutions? Honorable Man.
Dwalu, that office that was created to ensure that there is scrupulous adherence to the code of conduct is not a small office. And you know, the way our legal system is set up, even for the protection of rights and due process, you go through that process. Even the person, to the extent that the Supreme Court had even extended the sanctions that our ombudsman can give you. Even for elections, you know, certain people are supposed to resign certain time if you want to run in certain elections.
Correct.
The Supreme Court has even extended that if you don't do it in certain time and that penalty is, and that act is egregious enough, is serious enough, that ombudsman office can even bar you from participating in a particular election.
That's true.
And what is good about it is that if you're not satisfied with that decision of the ombudsman office, you can go for judicial review. You can go up to the Supreme Court. And if the court upholds the ombudsman's decision that you should be removed from office, you will be removed from office. And in law, we got something they call a writ called quo warranto. That is a writ to remove somebody who is not deserving to be in office from government office. All right. So that office is not a small office. My thing is that was what the legislature, in adherence to the Constitution of Liberia 1996, that is what they did. You prescribe the code of conduct, and then you set up the office that is responsible to investigate. So no matter what it is, it's the same way. Whether that's corruption thing, you will send it to LECC.
That's right.
Right? You get assault case or theft case, you send it to police. Right? So the legislature does not have investigative powers. So you cannot create the institution, then you undermine the same institution by doing its work. All right? Now you send it to the president. If the president decides not to act, then you hold the president to ransom.
Yeah.
And I say, okay. We say you must take action against the man, you won't do it. Next time you bring something here, we too will not pass it. Then it becomes a problem. But if the ombudsman decides to go through that whole process, and even if it is challenged and the Supreme Court upholds the ombudsman's decision, that person will be removed by all means from office, because they can file a writ of quo warranto to have him removed, even if the president doesn't agree, but because he's violated the law. What I'm saying is that we cannot be creating the institutions, and then we, the same people, assume the power and do it ourselves. The Senate was out of place. Senator Delon will always say when the House of Representatives passed the resolution, he say unconstitutional. This one, Senator Delon, I tell you, say you're wrong. I won't say unconstitutional, but you violated the law. You people don't have the authority to investigate people for alleged violation of the code of conduct. But here is something. I believe if the Liberian Senate felt strongly about the conduct of the CSA boss, or any official government for that matter, and have officially written a complaint to the office of the ombudsman, it will give them even more impetus to investigate, knowing that, but we got the people behind our back.
Correct.
You understand? Because the ombudsman office has been challenged before. And I think that people who are not standing their grounds, when they came first, they started challenging some of the Unity Party executives who were still holding party office and still in government offices. All right. But, they say that, if you don't have the guts to do the work, move. All right. But it still doesn't mean we should undermine them and take the authority back from them. And that is why I think we can't build. Look, nations are not built by strong men. We need to build strong institutions and resilient systems. Let's test our systems. Let's make our system work. Let's make our institutions stronger. If we don't do so, we'll undermine it. All right. And very soon, I know Liberia, we quick to set precedents. The next thing you hear, somebody will say, but Portland Honor was wearing Unity Party teacher at the party headquarters, and he LPA commissioner. So the House of Representatives, some people ain't let him, they come and go investigate him, and the House of Representatives will do their own. Then people start getting misplaced aggression and using that power. And I think it's wrong. I think the Senate missed the boat. They undermine the office of the ombudsman, and they don't have that authority. I'm not going to say the president whether he should do it or not, but I think the Senate does not have that authority.
Let's come to you here, though. Look, the Senate does have a lot on its plate. One of the reasons why the Senate is clothed with the authority to set up these institutions is for the Senate to be able to delegate. So listen, that entity responsibility. Is the Senate contradicting itself by setting up an entity to do a specific job, and then they come by attempting to do that job? Now, there is no suggestion here. Now, one thing Honorable Jokai has done, nobody can deny it. He's continuing to modernize the CSA. He's doing an excellent job because everything at the CSA has been going good, a new standard at the CSA. I get all those points. None of those are being recognized. I think it kind of takes away from the CSA in a manner where instead of you look, if Honorable Jokai does something wrong, by all means, please investigate it, man. I have no qualms about it. I have no issue about it. But the Senate has to focus on Senate type of thing to be doing, not focus on individual entity or agency stuff to be doing. Is that a fair way to put it, Black? On mute.
There's the thing, Dwalu. The National Code of Conduct law was meant for almost all public officials of government. That I stand to be corrected by the councillor. Who are those subject to the National Code of Conduct law? All public officials, the executive, the judiciary, and the national legislature. So if you are calling Dr. Jukai for alleged violation or a provision within the National Code of Conduct law, for which even you yourself are subjected to, what gives you the power to investigate somebody? For me, I thought what they would have done is maybe if they sit for quite a while and they have spoken about it, and the ombudsman have not invited the CSA director, I think their oversight will be calling the ombudsman to ask, why is this now going on? We see somebody who may have allegedly violated a provision within the code of conduct. But to call the person to investigate the person for violating allegedly a provision within the code of conduct for which you yourself is subject to the ombudsman, if you violate a provision within the code of conduct law, I think it's a legislative overreach of power. I'll be direct with the senator. The senator is one of my best in the entire legislature. Okay, I felt proud when he spoke about against the House of Representatives for trying to apportion additional 16 seats, for which he said they do not have the constitutional binding to do that. I hope when it comes to the Senate, he should be able to be outright also, to be able to tell his colleagues, because I think he's one of the smartest men. The reason why I'm talking about him, because he's one of the smartest person in the Senate. And he always talked about when I was at the Justice Ministry. That means he has the experience, and he has worked in the National Legislature before with the former Vice President at the time. She was Senator Joy Howard Taylor. So sometimes these people, most of these people, they are making the laws, but it's like they are not even understanding the law that they are making. Okay, so for me, I think the president should call. They met with the president the other day, but I think there should be meetings again for the president to be able to express these things to them, because you cannot have the president to dismiss or suspend somebody for a reason that does not fall within your reach. I think if they want for that to happen, they should pass through the ombudsman and say, this man will feel that he violated a provision within the code of conduct law, and you have to investigate it, or why are you not investigating it? Then it will push the ombudsman to invite Dr. Jukai to go and give reason why he cannot be suspended or expelled from government position. But other than that, I think the national legislature, they are exerting too much power onto themselves that the Constitution does not give them. Because the Constitution provides that every librarian has the right to associate, be it social or political. So you cannot make a law. I stand to be corrected again by the counselor, because we are all learning here. And the counselor has much more power of attorney to be able to interpret some of these provisions to us. So you cannot, in my mind, you cannot create a law that will ban a librarian for participating in political gathering when the Constitution gave the person the birthright, or if you are even naturalized, the Constitution gave you the right to be able to associate. So why should a law ban a person? Okay, if you say the law ban the person is a public official, just by going to cast your vote, you are participating in political activities. So are you saying also that the person does not have the right to even go and cast a vote? Because just by casting your vote, it is a political activity that you are participating in. So like Councillor Mann said, it is very important that at least sometimes when these laws come, people who have at least the financial backing and be able to take counsel or lawyers to go to the Supreme Court to have an interpretation of some of these laws that are made is very important for people. I think the people that Councillor Mann should be that people tell. Be going to the court. Yeah, be going to the court. At least be fighting anything, Councillor Mann. Why we get people like yours?
Well, no, it costs money. It costs money, Blair. Last time I said on the show.
Yeah, for me, lawyer, Councillor Mann.
Mama is a So before I go to Abraham, I want to come to you first, Patrick. I'm gonna put on the screen. This is what consider Dr. Jokai is being accused of, right? So according to the Ombudsman's office, we should inform the public that Section 5.1A, A, and then B said of the Code of Conduct provides that all officials appointed by the President of the Republic of Liberia shall not engage in political activities, canvass or contest for elected offices, and B, use government facility, equipment, or resources in support or partisan or political activity. Now, Patrick, I know he went over there and wore a political t-shirt. And Patrick Horner will probably wear a political t-shirt one day. Most likely he's going to wear a political t-shirt. Now, I understand the interpretation. For me, I really believe the intent of this law is really to use your position to give yourself undue advantage in a way that disadvantages the rest of the people, not necessarily just wearing political t-shirt. Am I being wrong reading too deep into this, Patrick? What do you say, my brother?
So let me begin by saying on this matter that the last time I checked, this was being challenged, or this is being challenged at the judiciary. Some members, some executives of the Unity Party and its collaborating political parties are before the courts asking for interpretation. And so I haven't, until we can hear what the Supreme Court would say about this. But I know when this bill was being passed into law, somewhere around 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, around there were heated debates about the legality or quote unquote infringement of the rights of others. Now, having said that, I like to also say that the way these institutions were formed, they were basically formed to, in a democracy, to provide checks and balances. And that's how it works. How people use the checks and balances is another debate for another day. But the legislators always tell us that there are three core functions of a legislator. Number one is representation. Number two is lawmaking. And number three is oversight. Now, how do we interpret oversight so as not to be seen as crossing the line and pushing into another independent, separate branch of government, like the executive has oversight? The judiciary also exercises oversight to a larger extent. So they're all three separate but coordinate branches of government. Now, having said that, I will not delve into the specifics of this particular matter, but I would like to talk a bit about history. And what is happening is not new. This has always happened, at least in the last 20 years of our country's political history, from 2005 up to this point. You remember that now, Senator, interestingly, people who have either been threatened to go to jail or perhaps being jailed are now in the legislature. Under Madam Sirleaf, especially during her second term, the House of Representatives, then headed by Speaker Alex Tyler, was seen to be a very robust, that was the word frequently used, robust, will be robust, will be robust. And when a Liberian man tells you they will be robust, there are two meanings. Number one, they're telling you they're coming, yeah, we'll be robust. We're coming to be robust. So that interpretation of robust sometimes can vary. But they were robust. You remember when Madam Sirleaf went to the US, and then I traveled with her to the UN General Assembly when she had an interview, and she said I didn't give it to them, they took it. And when she came back, it became a big issue. Criticisms sometimes can be difficult to accept, and sometimes from the very people who criticize a whole lot. But again, at the end of the day, we saw what happened. That's a political theater. They have quasi-judicial powers, but most of the times there is a political power play. and if care is not taken, it affects governance. I was just saying that in time past, we know that Senator Amara Kone in 2016, thereabout, was summoned to the legislature and charged with contempt, and nearly went to jail. Madam Sirleaf had to intervene, and Madam Sirleaf intervened behind closed doors. She met with the Senate, and that matter was settled. Today, Senator Amara Kone is now Senator. Senator Darius DeLong, around 2007, 2006, I beg your pardon. You remember when this news broke out that some lawmakers were accepting 5,000 US dollars to remove the speaker, then Edwin Snow. He had gone to Taiwan. He had returned from Taiwan. And some lawmakers, then Representative Alex Tyler was chair on Ways, Means, and Finance. And it was claimed or alleged that he was the chief disbursing officer at that point. The speaker then had a press conference to Providence Baptist Church around there. And then Senator DeLong, then chief of staff in the office of the speaker, was very critical and loud about the lawmakers attempting to take 5,000 to remove the speaker. The legislature did not take kindly to those allegations, and they invited Senator DeLong. As a result, he was charged with contempt and he was placed behind bars. So he went to jail. He came back from jail. He contested the senatorial election on the ticket of the Liberty Party. I think he came fourth. That was his first attempt. And then he came back and he won. Today he's senator. Also, you know the case with Maurice Setuma, then Minister of State for Economic Affairs or something of that sort.
Yeah, for Economic Affairs,
Francis Cape, Grace Minor, what's her name? The former superintendent of Montserrado County.
Okay.
Grace Palmer. And the list goes on and on. So these things have happened before. There has always been the contempt, evoking the contempt powers of the legislature, so that they can, in an exercise of the oversight, how that pans out at the end of the day is something else. At the end of the day, President Boakai had a meeting with the legislature, specifically the Senate, recently, and I'm sure to talk about some of these things. So the way I would like to conclude with this is, I think for smooth governance, even though in these branches, mind you, there are different political actors in these branches that sometimes influence how matters are discussed. So, for example, if I'm from the Unity Party, and if I'm in the legislature, and there is a ruling party that I'm not part of, I'm in the opposition, right? You don't expect, and I'm loyal to my political institution, I would rather someone from the ruling party join me. Someone from the ruling party join me so that, my egos can be bruised and I can appeal to my egos and my political party to make a point. So there is also the politics of this. You have some other people from political parties there. We hear that the Unity Party does not have the absolute majority in that part. So as a matter, as that plays out, there has to be some balance to be able to ensure that the work of government continues. So we have to consider all those factors, even though I'm not justifying the excessive use of contempt here. That's how I like to put it.
Thank you. Honorable Namwe, we're going to come to you first because I want you to chime me on this. Now, what we're talking about here? It's not too.
Right now, it's tough on my man. So, number where do you come to?
But no, number I'm gonna get a miss and low ball straight down the pipe. No cookiness to it, straightforward. We are not saying what the legislature is doing. It is not good for the country, whatever they intend they do have. All we are saying, let the right entity do their job to strengthen the institution. So, Honorable Nangwe, Do you think that the House of Rep, I mean, the Senate could have just make sure that the ombudsmen do their job, or should they take it upon themselves to do something they shouldn't be doing? We love you for all mine. Let me answer the question. No, I'm laughing, maybe laugh. I'm laughing, maybe laugh.
Please. Please.
I beg you, don't put number into a zone that you cannot be out.
That man Jack coming for apologizing.
No, of course.
That man when I go apologize 2 times in a row.
No, I'm not. But listen, you know, we are missing this point.
Yeah.
When laws are being made with specific surface reasons, it makes it difficult to apply. So, for example, you know, in our constitution, you have this, how many years you got to be? What is it? 10-year clause?
What is the
30-year clause that you have to be? No, if you want to run for president, you have to be resident, domicile for X number of years.
Yeah, but I think they can work.
Yeah, and all that kind of thing. Clearly, when this code of conduct was being rated, in my mind, there were certain people that, you know, they didn't want them be in government and participating into the elections coming and all of that. But the primary thing for me here is that I think it affects provisions of the Constitution that indicates the right for people to be able to freely participate wherever and all of that. Because as civil servants, we are also citizens of the country, and we have the right to be able to participate. So if you cannot canvass for a side that you believe in, then probably you should also be barred from taking part into the voting process, because that's also a political process. You know, if you want to take.
Dwalu, sorry, Mr. Nangbe, but I think that is not. I think we're not being fair to the discussion, because we're not talking about the code of conduct itself. We're not talking about whether it is right or wrong. We're talking about the action of the Senate, taking on themselves to investigate the code of alleged violation of the code of conduct and sanctioning people. But that's the issue we're talking about. We're not talking about the code of conduct, and all I think you're talking, Mr. Nangbe, all I think has been passed since 2017. I
agree.
Selina Policy Mapping took that matter to court, that it was discriminatory. It violated people's rights and everything. The Supreme Court went through and said, no, it is legal, it is by the Constitution, and it's not discriminatory. It doesn't violate people's rights. So all I think, a different discussion, if you wanted to go in depth into that discussion, we're going to it, but a different discussion there. That's not the issue we're talking about.
I think we should.
We're talking about the action of the Senate. We're not talking about whether the code of conduct is a violates people's rights or not violates people's rights.
Listen, Dwalu. Even at that, if an ombudsman's office is set up to do that, to be the one to investigate the conduct of misconduct of civil servants, then they should be the one to be able to do that. They should be able to do that. You know, the way it is, it just doesn't work that way in my view. But again, there's certain authority that people take upon themselves and they exercise in a way. So we always have this problem. And that is why I was making reference, you know, although now you're telling me that the court themselves have said it's legitimate, what can we say? But I thought that, I still believe that.
It is there. That whole process, Selina Policy Mapping took it to court with no less than a good lawyer than Nibadu Warner. They went to the Supreme Court to challenge the whole constitutionality of that code of conduct, that it violated people's rights, that it was segregated.
So why?
And the Supreme Court
why is it back to the Supreme Court?
Every bit of it and held that
because the court can reverse itself if it wants. So other people want to go back to the
court. That is my point. That is my point.
I'm not saying. No. Listen. No. That's not the point. The point I'm making is that I'm not saying people can't go back to the court again. All right. I say people can go back to the court. You can go back to the court and make a different argument. But until that time happens, that is the law. The court has said that law does not violate. In fact, the court has held that appointment to public office is a privilege, it's not a right.
All right.
It is a privilege. To be appointed to LTA package is a privilege, not your right.
Correct.
So privileges are different from rights. If you look at the whole opinion, it is there. So the point is, and it's not for civil servants. You got a civil service law also deals with civil servants, how they can participate in political activities is there. It's in the civil servants in the standing orders. This is for public officials, and the Constitution calls for that.
Can I ask a question?
Code. So the point I'm making is that
why this is my time now. This is time, Patrick. Patrick, this is my time. Yeah, let me just conclude on this. I mean, I understand the going to goes back and forth, but the point here is, if this is a law, then why are we having people from the executive going back to the court again to say that their rights are being violated by this very provision of the Code of Conduct?
That is their right. That is their right. And the point is that it doesn't mean that the law will change. In fact, in our jurisprudence and in the common law system, that's why they call precedents. Once the court has ruled on something before, unless you go way to really show the court that what they ruled on before were wrong. Yes. But if you cannot do it, the same ruling will come the same way. It doesn't change. All right. And that is why you remember when the president removed certain people from tenure position. And some of us told the people that no matter where you go to the court, they will tell you the president is wrong because the court has ruled on it wrong. It will never change until you really show that indeed it is the court was wrong. And in this matter, when you read that opinion, it doesn't show that I don't know what they have taken to the court. I haven't read what they've gone to the court on and what argument they are making on constitutionality. But I believe that Councilor Nebari Warner and Paulson Mappe made strong arguments, and the court brought all of those arguments down. All right. And they went to each one of them and showed how they conform with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And it was not discriminatory, and it was not bias against people and all that. And so it settled that matter. It's again, it doesn't mean the court doesn't say the same ruling. All right. So the point I'm making is you can go back and go back and go back. That's your right to go to the court. But it doesn't mean you will change the ruling. All right. But the only thing I'm saying is that, look, oversight, I understand where Patrick comes from. But oversight, all right, in the president's official function of his capacity, Patrick is at LTA. And there are issues with LTA and the Board of Commissioners and the legislature and the House believe that the Board of Commissioners are not administering the LTA properly, or there are issues there at the LTA. They have the right to call them, to question them about LTA. That's oversight. But if you accuse the president of violating a law, you cannot be the one to judge them for violating the law. That's not oversight. That's the point I'm making. Oversight is different. If you call the Director General about CSA, activities of CSA or something going on at CSA, you have oversight over CSA. Even his performance as the Director General of CSA, you have oversight. But once you accuse him of violating the code of conduct, then there's an institution that is responsible to investigate him. You cannot investigate him and sanction him. That's the point. It's not oversight. And oversight is clear. So, you know, I understand. So it is not a thin line.
They got quasi-judicial powers now.
What's man? Quasi-judicial power of the legislature is the contempt power that they have. That is quasi-judicial power. All right? That's the contempt power. They have the power of impeachment, that the power of removal. Those are the quasi-judicial powers. That's what they call quasi-judicial power. Doesn't mean that if somebody accused someone today from RREA of corruption, that the Senate can call him or the House can call him, one committee can call him and say, we investigate him for corruption, and tell the presidency, we believe that this man is corrupt, so remove him from office. And he say he got quasi-judicial power. No. And they say that oversight of RREA. No. If somebody accuses you of being corrupt, they can't call you to the legislature and can't investigate you for corruption. Because there's a statutory body responsible to investigate people for corruption. So that is different from oversight. Nangwe? I don't want to advocate where you're not easy, but it's different.
Thank you. And I think you made the point very clear. We'll go up to you, Ms. Z. I know, Patrick, you want to take 10 seconds. You have something to say very quickly. before I go up?
No,
to
I
the
mean,
side?
I have said what I have to say about this. I want to talk
Okay.
my summit now.
Okay, yeah, that's something. So, Messi, that come up to you, the Senate, and I love the way Councilor Man put it. It doesn't mean the Senate doesn't have its role to play. One of the things we try to do here.
President Barack Obama say can't go
Oh.
can't go for confirmation. I tell you, I want a job. I said,
but let me tell you what happened. Yeah, because
the way Padre I get scared. I say,
no, I'm not afraid. It's not about being afraid, right? But you remember doing my confirmation?
Yeah,
my confirmation hearing?
I know.
You know the people who didn't vote for me?
Your niece sweet, so
McGill, which I expected.
Yeah.
I expected that one, right?
I mean your niece sweet.
Edwin Snow said they put my name, give me the job. So he stood up and voted against me at the Senate.
Yeah, but Patrick, this is not.
Yeah, but that's not grounds to.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that. Look, we are only looking at our country. It is not personal, and I understand you guys where you are.
It shouldn't be personal ever.
You have to do your work. You have to do. But when we come on the platform, it's because of Liberia, and it doesn't mean everything we say we are going to be right. Yeah. If anybody from the Senate believe I am wrong, or any lawyer believes I am wrong, they got the right to come back and tell me that I'm wrong. But as I said today, I don't believe I am wrong. All right. It is not personal. It is not about the Senate. It's not about individuals. I just think that we cannot build institutions and then undermine the same institutions that we want to build. That's all. But it's not oversight.
But the interesting thing about it is, that's what I'm just looking at this whole thing. The interesting thing about it, some of the very people who, when they're not in the Senate, would say all of this, or in the legislature, let me now just narrow this down to, when they say all of this, they go to the legislature, and power is very interesting. Power is very interesting. They say the best power is the one that is not used. But, they go there, and some of the very people who went to jail because of this and who criticized the very system, but they're the ones exercising the same powers. Well,
thank you. And my brother MZ, closer on this topic. The Senate should do more. And sometimes the Senate will make a mistake. If they're magnanimous enough, they will say, everyone, this was wrong. We're going to withdraw this, and we should withdraw this. Do you think the Senate have it within them to be able to do that, MZ?
Yeah, I think the Senate can be able to do that. For the fact that the Senate now have noted that they are wrong, they are definitely wrong in this act. I strongly believe that what the Senate can be able to do, the Senate can be able to adjourn and then be able to recall. But yes, the Senate has oversight power, oversight responsibility over government ministries and agencies. But what does the Senate does not have is the investigative power. The Senate cannot be the same person to oversight responsibility, then he be the same person again to investigate. No, that investigation power that lies in an ombudsman. And this is what I definitely agree.
Man, that ombudsman, they call it ombudsman.
Let's move forward. We got a time crunch.
Yeah. And this is very, very much interesting. And this is the fact that I just believe that it is important that we make some of them, maybe it is Senate oversight, maybe some of them, but there was one senator who stood up and was able to make it very clear. He said that we have the oversight responsibility, but we do not have the investigation power for us to be able to investigate this man. So let us be able to lodge a complaint to the ombudsman so that the ombudsman can be able to take full responsibility.
That word is ombudsman. Not my name.
Man,
let's move on. The ombudsman will take his course. So we're going to jump into today. Councilor Ma.
No, listen, who was that senator?
Who was the senator that said?
I heard Senator McGill filed a motion for reconsideration, but I don't know that.
That was not Senator McGill. It was one of the senators from the Southeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that one of the lawyers. Maybe that the Senator Che.
Possibly.
I call it no, not chair, not about chair, but the Senate, the judiciary chairman.
Thank you so much. And Councilor Mom, this thing is right down your alley. We're gonna start with you. The court criminal
Start with me. I
proceed.
don't want to my topic off.
Okay, Patrick, no problem. You got law degree now. You got 2 master, but law degree now inside. Last time I checked. Let me say this.
We see like that. Swallow the man won't run away now.
Yeah, no, he ran away. But Patrick, here's the thing though. The court is expected to render its verdict tomorrow. It's not a so-called verdict, but called the findings tomorrow as to whether or not that the juror were tampered with.
Okay.
Samuel Tua went join in front of them before the TV come up, because they called into a meeting, his lawyer, the other lawyer, and they have presented them with the full evidence. And this board, knowing full well how this thing is going to land tomorrow, Samuel Tua decided to publish this on his Facebook page today. He says Vice President Jeremiah Kwankun has instructed Judge Usman Fiaka to overturn the verdict of an acquittal on the bogus and spurious allegations of jury misconduct. Though the judge finds no evidence, they already know, linking me to my lawyers, to any misconduct whatsoever that means. Over the last month, the government has been deadlocked on what many in the government and some justices on the Supreme Court bench consider an unprecedented overreach that will doom the judiciary. I'm going to stop right there, Patrick. What is Samuel Tua doing? What is going on here?
Well, this is so strange. There are too many questions coming to my mind. Question number one: what is the message behind that message? What is the subliminal message that Tua is sending by this post? Hours for the judge to release the findings from the investigation. Tua writes a post, and there is a particular paragraph. For me, I think this is arrogance on display. This is defiance on steroid.
A borderline criminality, not even arrogance.
I think so. I think I'm just asking myself, is he suggesting that he already knows the outcome of the findings from the judge? Has somebody given him tip off? Is it true that he actually was involved in jury tampering? Listen to this paragraph. Tua goes on to say, I will submit to no bogus political trial. Take note of the word political. I will explain to you why he inserts political in this trial. Mind you, this man, before the trial began, he started saying it's a political witch hunt.
Correct.
When the verdict was handed down, that word political disappeared from his paragraphs.
Yeah.
Then it was the law is the law. It became the law is the law. When they started investigating for jury tampering, and he knows that the next day the investigative result will come up, he comes back to say, I will submit to no bogus political trial in violation of my constitutional rights. Take note of the word violation of my constitutional rights. Then he goes further to say, I am a free man. Who free him? The jury that is being investigated. He goes on to say they wanted to make me a criminal. That's the political aspect of it, that he's saying political trial.
Yeah.
But they can now have me as a freedom fighter. To detour a bit, recently, in fact, 2 days ago, Finabondo made a comment, right?
Yeah.
And then the feedback from seditious, mind you, it is the same Finda when she was taken to court by the asset recovery. The same seditious say the woman is innocent. Why you're prosecuting a political trial? You're prosecuting the woman here, all that. But mind you, now go on Facebook, they're saying that you are you stole money. You did. Oh, so what is what? Which is which? Are they suggesting now that Finda has come up and said what she said, that yeah, she stole money? The same people who said it was politically motivated. Look, something is smelling. I do not know the outcome of the judge's investigative report, but something doesn't seem right. And any logical person, any logical mind reading through the lines of Tua's statement, I don't know whether his lawyer advised him to say what he had to say, The judge could take an issue with him.
Absolutely.
The judge could take an issue with him. So we look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to do a prediction based on Twel's narrative today. And my prediction is a clear display of guilt. My prediction is that the judge will order a retrial and that Twel knows that he tried to sneak his way through. And if he's found, liable for jury tampering, he knows that he tried to sneak his way through, but it did not work. And he has to go back and repeat what he started.
Councilor Mom, is it possible for a regular person that is being tried to in advance know the verdict of the court, or is he just saying that out of speculation for himself? But what I'm trying to say is, an investigation was held. Is it possible for Twel to know the result of the investigation before it's released in the fashion as he's explaining it?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
Highly possible.
Okay.
And I said to you guys before that it is the same playbook. When this whole case started against these accused persons for this case, Mr. Twel and the lawyer took the matter to the Supreme Court that they were immune from prosecution.
That's right.
Remember that after the argument in the Supreme Court, just before the court could have come down with its ruling, Samuel Twel got on the radio, he and his lawyer. They were going from radio station to radio station. And how they did this, they didn't do no plan of national security because they preempted and they knew what the Supreme Court was coming with, that they were going to tell them to go to trial. So he did that, and at that time it was to fight to put the propaganda war and to put the case out in the public for public sentiments.
I see.
To show the case that these people are trying to witch hunt me, and they're trying to, because I did my work for national security under the president's guide, and they're trying to prosecute me for that. So they went all, and I think to some extent they succeeded. Because of the kind of verdict and the society we have. Now, remember that once this allegation of jury tampering came up, when it went up to the Supreme Court said it is the law that once there's the allegation of jury tampering, the judge has to investigate.
Correct.
But initially when the judge was investigating, it was the judge and the jurors only. The Supreme Court said no. Put all the parties in the investigation. So sitting in the investigation. So right now, you're already giving me the impression to know what the thing will be, that case will be reversed, because he knows what the outcome will be, because he was in the investigation. And remember, just after the day after they did the last investigative hearing, Samuel Twel wrote to Rodney C. on the same thing.
Yep.
That the government people the judge said, in fact, the judge said in the investigation that he found no evidence, no thing, but the government pressuring the judge, and the judge has said the government put pressuring him to find fault with the jurors and this and that. And remember, at the same time, what her name, the other juror, Tanda Poli, since we were going on Facebook Live, because they were all sitting in the investigation and they knew what was coming up. So it's the same play now to say that whatever the judge will say tomorrow, he knows that, I believe, and I'm more than 100% sure that the judge will overturn that verdict, will sanction those jurors, and maybe those who will found culpable of collaborating with the jurors, because that's a crime.
It's a crime, yeah.
That's a crime. And he knows already, so now Twel is getting back to the media now to play the sentiment cards again. To say now he's a political this thing, he's a freedom fighter. I don't know what freedom fighter is. I don't know the charter of freedom fighter.
But that's part of the scary thing now.
But that is the same thing. You understand? That is the same play. Now, if you believe that, look, Liberia, look, the law, nobody is bigger than the law. Nobody. All right? And we wait to see what comes out tomorrow. But I have always said that when people go to the courts, the law, they say when the jurors sit there, they say, what a reasonable man. If you put these 5 of us reasonable people sitting down and we hear the story, will we come up with the same verdict? And that's why I challenged any librarian to tell me that that jury verdict made sense. That someone say, yes, I took the money. The jury say, yes, you stole the money. Because that was not argument. They say, yes, that was theft. They say, yo, they not use the money for national security purpose.
No.
And they say, yo, they not take the money legally. You took it illegally. And what you deal with it, but you didn't use it for national security purpose. So you're guilty of theft. But then the jury in the same mind say, but you, the man who took the money, you who say you took the money, you're not there. Go sit down. The other people who say they not take the money, they didn't even know how the money was spent. They get only some people that then took them, that then guilty.
Guilty, facilitation,
If
whatever.
any rational man tell me say that thing makes sense to you, that the man who sat in the court before you and told you say, yes, I took the money. The man who took the bags of money, went to the central bank, put the money in the bag, the controller, they say the other man, that someone boy, he ain't coming go to jail for anybody government by the election, so the man will go. The 2 people who say, the other man say, I just give the people code, because in the security, we can give them code for communication. That's all I did. The other man said, yeah, bro, one letter to me, I signed it. That's all I did. I don't know how the money was going. They said, no, that 2 of you stole the money. What sensible people would believe that that makes sense? So for me alone, they had to call the jury to account. And it was good that they themselves, I don't know what happened, what got beaten, and so they themselves got up, 3 of them said, no, I think we did not correct, let's go report ourselves. And they can't report it themselves. And they reported themselves, and the judge investigated, and the Samuel Twe, the government, all of them were sitting in the investigation, so he knows what is coming up.
But
so
I want to add this because
so when it comes up, people can say, "Oh, now they witch hunting the man, they persecuting the man."
But they witch hunting
that is the ploy he's going off after.
Yeah, but Councilor Man, before I go to Honorable Nambe, I want to ask you this question. When okay, everybody's in the room, do you think the judge in his ruling tomorrow is going to list exactly what happened and how they reached that verdict in the explanation? Or just
that's why he's going to write a judgment.
Okay, and the judgment is going to be very clear as to what happened.
He's going to write the findings of his investigation. He's going to read it. He's not going to just say the people they are jury tampering, so they no. He's going to read it.
Okay.
And those who are culpable, if it is found that there was tampering with the jury or jury misconduct, he's going to pronounce a misconduct. And those jurors that are liable, he's going to have them sanctioned. And most probably, they're going to have them prosecuted because it's a jail term. So they're going to be arrested and prosecuted. And anybody who collaborates with him, if he doesn't find it, he is going to come by and give the same catalog that he's going through his investigation, and he doesn't find anything wrong with the jurors. And therefore, the verdict will stand. And there's nothing people can do because of the judge investigation.
Thank you.
People can come back to investigate. If he finds something wrong with it, he's going to set aside the verdict. And it's going to be a whole new trial with a new jury.
And you said that in the beginning, double jeopardy does not attach until everything is done properly. But Mr. Man,
it's going to start from zero.
So he has to start born again and all those things.
Everything is going to start zero. So maybe I'm sure that he will still be on the same bond because it's a continuation, but it's going to start. The case is going to start again.
Okay, before go to one last legal question: if his lawyer, Johnson, was a facilitator or a part of these shenanigans that were funneling money, if money is spoken about in this thing, would this lawyer be sanctioned as well if it's proving that the lawyer was a facilitator with his illegality?
If the judge's investigation showed that the misconduct of the jurors was solely with the jurors themselves, because you got inside people,
correct,
we sanction them.
Correct.
If his investigation showed that there were people outside who facilitated the misconduct, those people outside will also be charged. And they will be dealt with. If it includes a lawyer, I'm sure that lawyer license will be on the line, because at first the lawyer will be held in criminal contempt of the court, so that lawyer will also be prosecuted and go to jail. and then probably I'm sure mostly the lawyer license will be on the line. But I mean, how the findings will come up. But I am saying now that I am very much sure that Mr. Twe, who was sitting in along in the hearings of the investigation, knows exactly what is coming out, and so he's doing the same thing he did before.
Okay, he's
preempting
it.
Yes, he's preemptive strike.
Yeah.
He's striking preemptively to so when he come out, he say, "I told you." You know, and people trying to squeeze the judge arm and this. The first time he wrote it, he said it right after the investigation that day. He wrote to Rodney C. It was in the Front Page Africa newspaper.
Yeah.
That the judge said he found nothing wrong with the thing, but the government pressuring the judge, and they said the judge must find everything by all means, because they say prosecution must happen by all means. They must send him to jail. All that thing he was talking about doesn't make sense. And Usman Faika is one of our best judges. I don't even think people can go sway Usman just easily like that.
Yeah, we're not happy. Honorable number. Here's the thing though. What's the message if the verdict comes out tomorrow? Because for me, it's about building Liberian institutions. If the verdict comes out tomorrow and the judge determined that there was some form of interference or jury tampering, what does that say to future jurors that will go sit on the bench? And then the Councilor Man said, and criminal charges are brought against these jurors, and some of the jurors are arrested, they are actually convicted, and they go to jail for real time. For future jurors, do you think they'll be a little bit scared, or they'll still be taking $10, $20? Somebody see $25 million, they give you $2,000, they think you eat?
Well, depending on the punishment, you know, or what happens to them, because I guess there'll be a whole trial and whatsoever. People, it will be concerning to people now that this is not something that they can just do and get away with it, you know. But the other thing, so why is he trying to pin the vice president in this?
It's the electoral on the wall, hope it sticks.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. You know, why is it? So look, Councilor Man said this thing, right?
Jerry, that a new rep blowing the tree.
So now I feel sorry for him.
If you be right, that a new rep blowing in the tree, so everybody got chunky. You way off, everybody got chunky.
So listen. And sometimes, you know, you get out of strategy and you get confused in the whole process. Okay? Because that he has the audacity to begin to accuse the judge in the way that he is doing it.
Yeah.
You know, to accuse the vice president in the way that he's doing it. I mean, I don't understand it, because when that verdict is read, that decision is made tomorrow, the issues that are informing that decision will be made public. And so, yeah, like what everybody is saying, the man knows exactly what's coming up. So he's trying to get public settlement and all that kind of thing. But I just think that was just not something anybody that got in a serious sense would want to do. I don't understand it. It's like they play the talking business, just getting nine. I don't know.
Well, Mr. Number, here in America, my brother MMZ, is sometimes you're doing this thing. I don't know whether Liberia has this law. They will issue a gag order. Sometimes you're talking so many nonsense, they're not going to fall for it. And if you continue, they will charge you with additional thing. But in Liberia, there is this tendency where we just talk freely with no evidence. I can say Councilor Man is the biggest role that ever worked at LBS. And I can just say that thing and go home and sleep. Son!
Well, I don't think this judge will just sit down and will make no comment on the accusation this man is making.
I think Dwalu was absolutely right. I think maybe it was an oversight, but I think the judge, especially looking at the nature of the case, should have issued a gag order, and every party in that investigation, a gag order. And if you violate it, he put you in jail for a good time. You know, every party. But, you know, again, you know, sometimes we let things, and, you know, it's the same thing with people who say, oh, easy, the judge too won't get on the man. And sometimes you just stick by the law and do it. You're right, because all these things can cause people all these kinds of,
you know, it undermines the whole process.
undermines
It
the system.
undermines it. I think that's
And let
what
me
he's
just say
trying to
this,
do.
Balu. Let me just thank our people in the class today. I mean, our people are very smart. I was thinking that what Mizzy said about the senator who cautioned his colleagues. I thought it was Senator Augustine Chi who was the chair on judiciary, but no, they said it was Francis Dopo. And I think Dopo was right, but his colleague didn't listen to him. Yes, it was Francis Dopo. But thanks to you guys for
yeah, big shout out to the class, man. They're a very informed audience. I think we got the smartest audience in the Liberian landscape, and I love that.
My last comment on this thing is this.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, every time a decision is made by the courts, it favors people.
Yeah,
there are praises. Huh? The law is the law, and blah 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 blah, and all that kind of thing. Now, what happens now? The law no longer becomes the law.
I mean, I don't even listen to that thing. That the one we are there. When you say wish on that the time and get happy. You know, because of the man, I never thought about law school my entire life. But it's only now I said maybe I should have gone to law school.
But not late.
No, it's late. I'm gonna get time for that. And Mezi, they hear from you. Hey, Harris, I'm making preparation to come on screen to take some calls from our people. Go ahead, Mezi.
I think some actually just have the habit of talking loosely. You know, what Bibra Darrow said, I think that's what the judge could have done. Because here in the United States, you don't just talk loosely, especially when you are in court.
They don't even talk.
So for Samuel to be talking loosely than that and then accusing the judge in that statement that he released, you know, I strongly believe that judge will be able to make a comment on that tomorrow. But you know, well, I don't want to talk more on this case because I'm just waiting for the verdict tomorrow so that I can be able to say what is on my chest. But some actually need to sometimes you just need to be quiet for a minute. Be quiet. So just be talking loosely, you are all around the place, begging for sentiments, trying to look for sentimental discussions, trying to convince people sentimentally. It does not work. It will not work, Samuel. It will not work. This time around, if the judge come out tomorrow, what in case if the judge come out tomorrow and be able to say he ordered a retrial, what would you say? Do you ever have anything for you to be able to oppose to that? Absolutely no. So, but Judge Fiaka, I don't know if his name is Siaka or Fiaka, he is supposed to release a gap order on his case so that none of the party can be able to talk loosely as Samatua is doing. Thank you.
Sorry, let me just ask.
Yeah, Samatua knows exactly what he's doing.
So in all of this now, the lawyer has disappeared himself in all in this. So he's not commenting. And you know, before when this trial started,
you not find out water in coconut before.
Oh, okay.
You did a lawyer know now they play a read the time like you not feel what pour water in coconut before you not find out secret. Eh?
I want to ask you the question though.
I'm coming, Dwalu, please hold on, Dwalu. Because at certain time when the trial started, this boy went on this lawyer went on he said something in Gisi, and everybody was trying to find interpretation of what he said in Gisi. I don't know. You need to find that thing. I think he signaled something like nobody's stupid or blah blah blah. I don't know. But I think to just get a lawyer too much hard time to manage it.
Yeah, well, like I say, Honorable man, before we go to the phone line, I get a question for you. And I really mean this. With our jurisprudence in Liberia, here in most developed countries, when you go to the court, there is this fear, this really healthy fear that your life is truly in jeopardy, that there is a seriousness to this crime. Even if you go to to a simple misdemeanor case, or we go to a traffic court, the seriousness are there, not for fun. Do we have that kind of seriousness in Liberia court? Or am I not? Maybe I've never been to the court in Liberia. Is it that serious?
No, sadly it's not. And but you know, the court not supposed to be place for people to be afraid of. You know, people are not supposed to be afraid.
No, they're not afraid, but I know if you do something wrong,
people are supposed to take this. People are supposed to take the court seriously, right? And
that's the point I'm trying to make.
But they're not supposed to be afraid. The court is where people are supposed to go there to exercise their rights. But again, and that is why, unfortunately, maybe some other time we'll talk about the issues of people disrespecting court orders, people disrespecting the rule of law, and why it is exacerbating right now in our country. Look, just before we go to the phone call, let me just digress a little bit. You know my passion about this illegal mining.
Yeah.
Today, I heard the best news that came out of Accra. Look, can you imagine a regional chairman of a leading political party, the former ruling party, the chairman, the man is a multi-millionaire, was today sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for illegal mining. Today.
Okay. When our country will get here?
Today, the man was sentenced to 20 years with all the money he has. He was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for illegal mining from the court. They put hand on hand straight to the prison. And is a multi-millionaire. He is the regional chairman of the former ruling party. They tell you how people take their law enforcement serious.
No, and I wish one thing.
I wish one thing. The only thing now, the former ruling party saying the sentence too harsh. But that is the law. 20 years with all your money. The man used to look, the man who used to show gold bars. When you go sit down, he show you gold bars. You understand? That the man, when you see the man wealth, the cars he drives, the kind of, but the people no big man above the law. 20 years today, they sentence to prison for illegal mining. They say all that gold mining you were doing was illegal. And people set that tax force on illegal mining.
I pray God is so gracious.
So, you know, people should take the law, and that's the enforcement of the law. Unfortunately, in Liberia, we don't. And maybe, hopefully, this week we can discuss those kinds of issues, Dwalu. But I think that is the reason why people underestimate the courts and underestimate law enforcement, because people don't respect the laws. People know the code with us, and people will not respect it. People will do not do it. So you see how somebody can get up and talk and I think about the judge. What the judge say? Not say you can talk that thing, he can go free. Which judge in America you will get up and go slander like that?
You want to talk?
In lam you in.
You want to talk? If I will say arrest warrant for you right away, and it's a serious thing, guys. You across the country start taking some phone calls. This is Samuel Toure accusing the vice president of the Republic of Liberia without any evidence of any kind whatsoever. Former Finance Minister and Development Planning Minister Samuel D. Toure Jr. has publicly accused Vice President Jeremiah Kpankun of attempting to influence the outcome of an ongoing criminal case by directing a judge to overturn a jury's acquittal. Allegations that have not been independently verified and have not been publicly addressed by the Vice President. This is something we do in our country. People can just come and say anything about anybody's name. When they come after you to be able to say what you said against the person. In the case of Sekou Dukle, for example, with that Peking massacre, then they say, oh, that witch hunt. Let me tell you something. Until Liberia start hunting witches and start putting senators and PB men in jail, serious jail time, this thing will continue. Me and say, hunt the witches. Hunt the witches. Witches are not good people. Hunt them. Let's take some calls from our people from across the country. Harris, the boys in your call, buddy.
Okay, so we'll go to the lines and take your calls tonight. 0778-665699. 0778-665699. 0880-561-644. 0880-561-644. 0776-293-620. 0776-293-620. This person is on. Believing, thanks for joining us. Believing, it's great to have you. Go ahead, you're doing great. On a word, you slipped up 0778-665-699, 0880561-644, 077-6293-620. This person believing. Let's hear you. You're live.
Thank you very much. My name is Tunde calling a call from New York. Let me say thanks to the panelists for the government discussion. This country is a country that everybody do their own thing. Someone to we can bring the coach. These are people that are supposed to be in jail by now. But the law enforcement, the courts indicate they get within our time. About the thing, let me speak to the issue of just praising government for nothing because you know that she was still going again. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Sigma, we'll leave you talk to this person. You like the name you called from where? Let's hear you. Go ahead, you like.
The problem is, me, I know the ruling party using will still lose the case against Samato. Samato beat them again. I don't want to tell you. They just dropping, they're farming around dropping. They don't want to do here. Samato is on top of the beat them to coach. I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll leave you this person. It's a shoot. Summit 12 still win the case. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is 101 on. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell who you like.
Okay. Why it comes to the issue of Inabodo is a Nigerian and watch it day. For them, our former President George Yadu say it back. How will you go and do and give some people Inabodo part of area? When you depart the name, your institution, but always to serve put out. It is your project, don't be the bearer of the part was the project that is terrible. But when it comes to Commerce West, Commerce West needs to communicate, now that is clear. Our dear people, our president, people just want to talk to the end before they come down. Our president will say is best president of this nation, by the grace of God, they might be our staff.
Okay. Thank you. Leave you 077-866-5699, 080-561-644, 077-866-5699, 077-629-3620. This person, good evening. Hello?
Hello?
You live? Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, you live. Yeah, when you call oh my word. When you call, you need to leave the radio. Yeah, that's the only way. Once you hear yourself in the background, hey, it's not a good one for you. 077-866-5699, 080-561-644, 077-629-3620. When you call, you lower the radio. Perhaps you dress away from it. This person is live. The name you called from.
Yeah, hello?
Go ahead, you live.
Yeah, my name is Master Joseph. Go
ahead.
Yeah, I'm so happy to do this. Tonight, Master Joseph, someone said, you president of the Federal Charge of Safeguard, Adventure to Criminal Code B, to Central Justice. I can't do it. The very council which is Catholic colors. That is very good. After studying 6 years, after to be in Central Maria Crazy.
Go ahead, you live.
Yeah, so bringing some topic of the first line of the law, the problem like they are taking less because they have interest in their own self-interest. Are you telling me?
I'll leave you. Talk with this person you like. I said, yeah, you see, there. This person is you like. The name you call for. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Thank you. Let me say good evening to all of the conversation and comments tonight. So, this is cool. We then call the actually this conversation for this is getting understanding of the United Party. So, let me appreciate all of you for the rest of your point of the national section. And first of you want to begin with is issues of family. So, that may want to back up the sentence. So, it is a reason because tomorrow we learn that tomorrow the bullet will be out as to whether the world is during temporary or not. And there is a reason for coming out now publicly breaking things that won't, not to back up the sentiment. Apparently, are no longer the way they used to be. That we are too smart these days. So we already know the outcome of that. And there is a reason why you're very confidential and you want to masquerade around the corridor here and you are insane. And you see, the issue about Pina Bono. Look, when they actually discovered him, arrested Pina Bono here or Patrick Ipan or Vigo, the same people who were saying Pina would never corrupt, people was a witch hunt, without nothing like that. And in fact, I don't even know why they even attacked Pina. Pina did not mention in your entire business, or she did not mention former President of PRC or any hierarchy of the CDC that they were people to work. She said people who I was there for them. So I don't know after what it has become our probably here that is the obvious put the outside baboon down bad. So what I did is stuff they know their stuff that they did something to Pina and they are coming up. We don't do as fast as for them. Pina did not mention anybody's name. And even people who say, oh, we didn't find people you got, we happy with Pina, we say Pina must come over. No, for me, I'm not even happy with those people who
Okay.
are party now. Come over to the party because I know they are not coming with sincerity. They coming because they want to be violent. And they think that they can buy any potential person from this government, that some of them student work that they accumulated from the government because they not pay anything. But if they trade with the government, they will be part of them.
Okay.
I do not even support them.
Thank you. Good evening. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you. Yes.
Good evening to the panelists. This is President calling from the Youth Party Intellectual Bureau. Can you go to start a joking issue? They think about putting the lockdown, there's too much in your country or it's too much in the corner. They want you to not take it. Yeah, when I tell you when I tell you seriously, and so moreover issue. The process setting is the politics of that. The shoe putting our minister or our leaders here. Don't say what they teach because I party and I get it present the free news. When I do for one platform, I will not want to do it. I don't think it's tonight. Oh, better they say that it's free. They may not do nothing. They may not do this. Process setting up is certainly not let people.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Princess. We'll leave you take more calls 0778 665 699 080 644 0776 293 620. This person is right here. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're live. Go ahead.
So, when they get stable, and I come from the JMB and GDA Dream of the Foundation, and all the youth patients that are just help water into the community. When I'm listening to Samuel Twain making such a allegation, then it reminds me that he was one of those who influenced the $100 million drugs case that went scot-free in this country. Because that's the picture. The executive, the chief president, I mean, everything that happened over there, it was influenced by the executive. So, look, let us start destroying ourselves in this country. CDC coming to our political landscape, I think it's not doing us good, but it's doing us more harm. Serious harm. We have the president calling this country a narco state. They think coming to lead a
thank you. Let's leave you. Take more calls 0778-665699, 0776-293-620. This person. You live, the name you call from where?
Hello?
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. You see, a law enforcement in the country, some people who have money in the country and they commit any crime that is kept under the second, even take a month or less. But if you don't have money on the execution of crime, whether you commit it, still don't have money, you can take a law kind of prison wherever they commit anybody to free. Then even when not getting free, you spend a lot of time. I mean, in my shoe, I said, the beginning of first stage of crime, excuse, first stage. Everything that I have out there, better than me. Now doing private security work. So I am like for us to talk about enforcement of any corruption of any error in this country. You are exposed. I would have honor will be honor. It's not I process. I will you chief. Thank you for tonight.
Okay, thank you, and always listen as well. 0778. You see, take at least three calls from this end. Then we return to the panelists to continue. 0778-665699, 080-561-644, 0776-293-620. This person, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Benjamin. He Kalai Ganga Lawrence calling for yeah, I want to just want to say that one point. Thank you for I'm a time of 1 year. But anybody that won't help me, is a government, is a language, is a nation. Come. You don't know what they learn from our government. You don't know what they learn. Then they come. Anybody won't come, but then they come. You know, won't come. You know, then they come. Then they come. Anybody won't come, then they come. We have rule and regulation. All our if you walk out, you won't be part of this. Then they come. Think about the unity party government. Then they come. Anybody won't come. Then they come. We welcome. We own it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 0778-665699. I will take at least a call.
Yeah, caller.
Let's take at least a caller from this end, and we'll call it a day tonight. 0778-665-699, 080-561-644. It seems like we don't have a call from this end, so yeah, we don't have a caller from this end.
Thank you so much, callers. If you guys that are listening that log in today, we had a YouTube problem over the weekend. Actually, YouTube, the entire system had some technical difficulties. It was not just our platform. From Thursday, Friday, most of you guys that were calling, even in the beginning of the show today, we couldn't come on. We just came back on. So we are on YouTube, but for future reference, whenever you cannot log into YouTube, please go to the Facebook page. If that's the only platform you use, I'm going to ask you, let the grandchildren know for you to be able to do that. And you can make your calls now. Call into the show, the international caller. We'll actually take full calls here tonight on a very tight schedule here. The number is 774-578-1963. Call, make your case. We spoke about a lot of things here tonight. But I think Twitter knows what he's doing. And the Liberian people, until you stop listening to things that will destroy you, things that will diminish you, things that will shield people who steal from you, this nonsense is going to continue. When man commits a crime, he has to pay for that crime. You cannot feel sorry for a man when he knowingly, conscientiously commits a crime, and then he comes back to you and behave as though you must be feeling sorry for him. It is not a place to feel sorry for somebody who commits a crime against your children. That's not your place. Let's take a couple of phone calls here. If we have no calls, I'm going to go to about 55, another 2 minutes. If I can get no more calls, and then we'll go for our parting statement tonight. Liberian people, we got to understand that the judge will rule. He will state his case. I personally believe this judge should say something directly about what Samuel Toure is doing. This is intentional. And the young Liberian that we're taking advantage of, they call you seditions, but they call their children eating 3 times a day. They send their children to great schools and they allow you to suffer the consequences of their decisions. Caller, you're live and name where you're calling from, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Donald. Thanks for everyone. Hello?
Yeah, you're live, sir.
Yeah, I have 2 issues. One is this Morba. I'm Sandro Brunel calling from Seattle.
Yeah, Sandro, what's up, bro?
Morba issue.
Yeah.
You know,
I got your video, but go ahead.
yeah, I would tell every Liberian that you know what how to make yourself known in this country. Because if you know it, nothing can happen to you. See, I think the devil will find ourselves. This guy, when I was younger on the Pioneer Farm, if I were me, I would want to beat his ball for taking to prison. This guy take gun in front of the police, standing there with gun in his hand on the truck. The father police is standing out there, and he walk home with a gun, sleep. The next morning he deliver it. What kind of country you find out? He killing the guy who goes somewhere and start killing people.
Yeah.
Okay, that I won't go. The second thing here is that this Sunday, it very remind me of a way back when I was coming off. I wanted a big chief portrait, and then the farmer chief came and asked for an area to give me in the Florida area, and so they went and located an area to give me. Then the client chief went after we digging the foundation. He stopped the pool. Then he called me in the court. That's why they sent it doing. When the messenger came, I went in the court. He said, I asked, I said, who called me? They said, oh, they sued you. Then he went sort of the other desk. I told him, I said, who sued me? He said, he. I said, who judged me? He said, he. I said, no. I walked in the court. I told him, who. That's why they said it doing.
Thank you.
They didn't see people would be or something, then they'll sit down and judge a person. You know,
Thank
someone
you.
will come on the show here to educate us. I really appreciate Mr. Mom being
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah, we do.
To give us some ideas, because what happened to guys sit there? I don't know where they're coming from. What law school they go to, take course and put it on them for the tailor shop and just go and sit there and start to make their own law.
Thank you.
And hang the bomb city on the logs.
Thank you.
Where are they coming from?
Thank you, Councilor Ma.
And making we the young people to look stupid.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Ma, we appreciate you so much for coming to educate us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sando. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Hello, caller.
Yeah, how you doing, my brother?
How you doing, Jerry? You're live. You're live. You got a minute.
Yeah. Let me say thank you to the entire team on the show. You see, our people back home, brother, they can say they play where the spoon get read before you open your mouth. They reaching there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Two teams we should expect tomorrow. Either retrial or Samuel know what's inside the room, so the brother know. So thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Let us continue the good job. That brother will be better again.
Thank you.
I'm learning a lot of things from you. Thank you. That was so much. Counselor is a brave counselor on the show. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Caller, you're live. Please listen directly through the headset.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Yeah, thank you, brother, for giving me the opportunity. My name is Saros Slan.
Yeah.
Calling from Massachusetts.
Okay.
So, here's my take on some of the issues discussed. I think what is playing both at the Senate and in the political sphere in Liberia is that the people opposition see Jeremiah Queen as a stumbling block to their success. And so one of the things that they have decided is to always attribute, things that happen, whether in the government in the past, to attribute the unconventional thing to him so that he appears like the kind of boogeyman or devil in the eyes of the public. So come probably 2029, if Joseph Boakai decides not to run and the Unity Party pull Jeremiah Coon in from, people can look at him as somebody who is terribly bad.
Yeah, but I got sure.
I guess that's why they do that. That's the intent. Because if you watch most of the things, they will always attribute, take for example, negative stuff to him. So I guess that's the way they're going. Another thing is we have the Unity Party has to be careful because Darius Dillon, the Nyokli Kanga, the Lewate, fraction, I think trying to silence voices that are always on social media to be able to debunk some of the lies that continue to go on out of by member of the Senate or by member of the by lawmakers and other people out there is to be able to use the Senate platform that they have to be able to threaten people. I think that's why, because they have the audacity to go and criticize the executive. But if members of the executive do criticize them, and they use the Senate or they use the House of Representatives to call people, so that to call members of the executive and try to dictate to the president. And I think we have to be careful, and the party leadership also has to be careful in terms of how they go about. So if, for example, if there was an agreement prior to the election that, say, for example, Joseph Parker won't run for second term, and they will carry Jeremiah, maybe that will be out of the VP. I'm just trying to, figure out what's going on. And so party leaders and other people need to be careful, because things that never happen when from the onset are things that I am seeing happening now. So
Thank you.
That's my take.
Thank you.
And I hope that party leaders, the United Party people in Latvia will be able to find on that quick and see how to deal with it.
Yep, we'll take our final caller here tonight. Mr. Jackson, you're the final caller. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, Donald, this is Mr. Jackson from Boston.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Donald, wouldn't it be a good thing if we can get this investment going with the current situation the country is going through, and in the international community, where we see almost all countries now, they're becoming very nationalistic.
Yep.
And we Liberians, we're not showing that trend. We need to have this investment going.
Yeah.
I saw my cousin visited Talat,
Mhm.
and he went on the beach. It's rainy season time.
Yeah.
And he bought a lot of fish.
See?
And I was thinking, I said, just imagine if we had a good big cold storage in Cape Mount area.
Can you imagine?
Where we can store most of the fish, because some of those fish get rotting. Some
Of
of the
course.
fish it just end up on the dryer, and I've been there before. I bought a whole dryer of fish for only $75.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they don't have the storage capacity to store the fish.
That's
so
right.
if we, as Liberian, can build a big cold storage in Cape Mount, can you imagine, you have about almost 50 to 60 or 70% going to work every morning
day.
to that place.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. And Mr. Jackson, the people sell container cold storage now.
All the talking, but we need to put our money in our country.
I
Or
agree.
else we'll lose the battle. The foreigners will continue to control the private sector.
That's true. That's true.
It's sad.
It's very sad.
I just saw that. I said, let me tell Dwalo. And he texted me. He sent me pictures and all. And I said, cause what happened? The fish falling off the lake. He said, no. He said, I just came and I bought all the fish here for just a few dollars.
Mr. Jackson sent me the picture. When I see the kind of thing, my heart can help me. Through my grandkid, my country got so much potential. So much potential, but
In fact, I grew up there, so I know during the rainy season.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the barracuda, because my uncle used to go fishing.
Mm.
When he bring the fish, I was the one used to clean it and cut it up and put it in the freezer. So I know.
Thank you.
We have abundance of rain. The resources just wasting in our place because we have not done any kind of mechanized system to harvest this thing. Even the rainfall, we can think about harvesting the rain that during the dry season we can have clean water to drink.
we got work to do, Mr. Jackson. We got a lot of work to do.
The mindset we Liberians should have now. Leave all the politics. Let's try and put some of our money together and try to do something in the private sector. Because, as you know, the private sector has been controlled by foreigners for a very long time.
Forever.
Because Liberians, we do not want to put our money together. Everybody want to go solo, but is that solo investment that will make Liberia go through?
Nope. You don't have enough money to go solo.
Us coming together.
That's right. That's right. And I want to appreciate you for always highlighting the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. We got to do this. Because don't all get plenty of money, Mr. Jackson. But thank you so much. And thank you for the call, sir. And that's the final caller for tonight. I'm going to come back to you, my brother Mimsy. and to state your case here tonight and your parting statement to the audience. We want to appreciate you. I want to always remind you guys, whenever you come online, you cannot get a YouTube page, please switch over to Facebook. Sometimes these entities do have problem. YouTube had a problem for the last over the entire weekend. In fact, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we could not log into YouTube. It was a major problem. We have logged into YouTube now. But remember that whenever you don't, I know most of you guys call. So when you're even getting there with me, the show has been on. My brother Mizzy, your parting statement for the night.
Yeah, I want to highlight, the issue of Abraham Darros DeLong. The senator did extremely well this long weekend by graduating some of our sisters.
That's right.
Some of our aunts, some of our nieces were able to graduate from his rehabilitation center. That is indeed important because investing in the young people, that is what we are talking about. Because some of these girls, they have been taking drugs. Some of them have been addicted to drugs. For you to be able to detox these drugs from all of their mental, all of their body, it requires time, it requires investment. And nobody in the country had decided to do such. But Senator Abraham Darras, I want to tell you thank you, but more work to be done. Secondly, we're supposed to have the Minister of Youth and Sport here today. I should regret her coming because she is meeting with the youth of the United Nations youth officer. So she promised that she will be here on a Thursday. So if you were anticipating on asking all of your questions, I want to tell you, keep your questions and wait for Thursday. The minister should be here flesh and blood. And with that being said, I want to, this is the pictures. This is some of the pictures. And Eduardo, this issue of investment, and that's the reason why for me, I have developed strong passions for addictions. I have developed strong passion for this kind of health worker, initiative. Because all of us cannot be able to go into the accounting sector, all of us cannot be able to go into the geology or go into money sometime, somehow. And I wonder why is it that up to now, the University of Liberia does not have such a degree program. But we must do. See you when I see you.
Thank you so much, Abraham. In the meantime, we want to say a big shout out to Senator DeLong and what he's doing out there with the youth, especially with the drug rehabilitation. Honorable Mom, I want to play about 10 seconds of this. Say what you will about Senator DeLong. Say what you will about Senator DeLong. This is one man that is truly transforming Liberia. The drug rehabilitation, all the young people you see over there, they also graduated. He doesn't just graduate them. He gives them skills, marketable skills. They can go out there, they can get off of drugs. And I'm going to say big shout out to the ClassReloaded. You guys remember a few months back, we raised some money here for them. It's a worthy cause. Our sisters, our brothers, they're being fully rehabilitated. Big shout out to Senator DeLong and his team, man, for the drug rehab center in Morovia, for the good work they do. Look how transformative those girls look. Look how you see picture when they first went there, and you see when they get in from there. It is a big deal because it's a national calling. Honorable Man, your parting statement, sir.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's only God that can reward Tidon for that, for the kind of impact you are making in people's lives. You may not be able to distribute money or cash in the street, but trust me, to give people hope again and give them a second chance at life, it is more than any money that anybody can give anybody. And I think that over the years, what he's been doing, it's really remarkable. Um, I hope that we all can find ways to support that initiative, and we'll also call on any philanthropists out there who will be able to support that initiative so that we continue that progress in rehabilitating our people. We still have thousands and thousands of them out there who have been, affected by this menace of the drug. And I'd like to thank Senator Dillon very much for all that he does for our country and our people. Well, let me also end by saying that, look, and Senator Dillon, I'm not beating on the Senate, so don't think that I got something. No, but I just think that, and again, I strongly believe that the only way we can make Liberia great and greater and a better country is when we build strong institutions and not strong men and women. And I believe strongly that we need to empower our institutions and get them working fully. And also we need to be guarded ourselves, so that power does not us consume us, and then we undermine the institutions that we set up to work. Also, Dwalu, people, all of us as Liberians, we need to be accountable for what we do as Liberians, whether in private or public sector. You know, as I said, the fight against all sorts of crime now is going beyond only people in government. You know, last week I think I mentioned to you that now even the fight against crime in countries like Ghana has gone to individuals. People look at people's lifestyle. You see somebody start building mansions, driving 2, 3 flashy cars, and they wonder, and the person not working, they start wondering where you're getting that money from, because all these drug issues, these money laundering, and all these kinds of little swindling, people go and lie to people abroad, say they can give them gold and diamond and all kind of things and steal their monies and this. So people now start looking. So all of us must be held accountable in our country, whether you are a private citizen or not. And nobody should think that, because, I'm not in the government, so I'm not held accountable from the life that you live as a Liberian. And that specifically goes to what is going to come up tomorrow. We're going to be listening to the judge to see what the outcome of that investigation will be. I hope it comes my way, the way I think it should. I hope those jurors, because quite frankly, unless that mean in mass, but that verdict did not make sense, and I think something was terribly wrong with that jury. And I hope that comes to light so that every Liberian can see what happened. And then if that is the case, that these people face the full weight of the law, and that they be set an example on, so that everybody knows that when you go over there, you go over there, just do what your conscience tells you, do what is right. All right, you don't have to be for anybody else, just do what is right. Exactly. And then you can sleep sound in your conscience, and anytime you can beat your chest, you can look at your children and say, look, I did what I believe was right. I made a decision that I thought was right. All right, based on the circumstances and the fact that came before me. Because we have most of these cases coming before us. And if we start coming with sentiments, oh, the person sorry for, oh, the person this, oh, the government just want to do the person or that person, they will never hold anybody accountable. And then that will never be better. All right? Listen to the kind of thing, say, University of Liberia, teacher then say they come and go on strike. They want salary increase. You say people will go to school free. They will not pay school fee in the university. Then you say you want salary increase. Where the money will come from? That the president she will go take money from Webley. Yeah, I can understand the thing. You say you want free school. They will not put. They say they want the woman say, okay, let the registration, the tuition, let's put some smart. No. Everybody want free thing. Free. Move for free. They say, well, you want increment in your salary. What increment in your salary when the student not paying money? I mean, who goes to a university and pay $15? Your whole year you pay $15.
They're lucky.
I mean, which country? The whole year you pay $15 for university education. Unless there's someone at welfare state and the country got so much money that somebody is just funding the entire university.
Thank you.
Everybody can go free. But the country, if we don't take some hard decisions and don't set it straight.
Hard decisions.
And this is the time, people. Where we are going, we can't go back. This is the time that we keep going forward. People were threatening with 2029. People will say, we'll not vote for you again. If they don't want to vote with the many, look, the good people in Liberia are far more than the bad people.
Thank you. 5%.
The Liberians that live in the diaspora are far more than the people who want to see that country backwards. So if we mobilize and people just see the progress in the country, they will take pride in the country and will keep going forward. Will not go backward. So any attempt to bring us backward, anything, whether you government official, you the president self, the vice president, take any action that will bring us backward, we gotta stand against it and say, no, we gotta go forward. Because our country, if it was not better for us, let's make it better for our children. And I look forward for the day that we'll start looking at this issue of the violence that happened yesterday or the weekend.
We couldn't put it in, but
all those kinds of things. And I hope we can find time to discuss that on our agenda. But thank you, Dwala, for all you do for our country. And God bless you for all you do. I think I'll start taking interest in your equity fund very soon. I'll start looking at it.
Yes.
All right,
So Councilor Man, you got no idea what you mean to
all
the
of our
show.
people across the world.
Yeah, you mean a lot every time you come here. You spin our minds, especially on the legal front. And we love that. And this is what we hear every day. But people here, remember, we all got to fight this good fight. I just wanted to look at how our women are looking. Look how beautiful Senator Dillon has turned these young women into productive citizens once again. And I want to say this, and I will follow suit what Councilor Man said, and I will add my voice to this. If you want to give follow-out to an organization in Liberia, please consider the drug rehab. If you want to give to a charitable organization, consider entities that are actually transforming the lives of our young women and children across Liberia. Senator Dillon, big shout out to you and everybody there, man, who's working at the drug rehab. The drug issue, that not one person issue. This is our collective issue. This is something that's going to hinder every person in the country. And I want us to continue to remember that. Let's graduate. Let's shut down the drug dens in our country. Let's make sure people are not bringing this stuff into our country. And let's get our young people on a proper footing. Let it inherit a better Liberia than we did. This is our task. This is something that we cannot neglect. This is something we must take seriously. Big shout out to Senator Dillon, man. This is a big deal. Continue to graduate these young people, and let's continue to elevate Liberia. But I'm going to close today with a comment with a thought today. Young people in our country, I want you to know something. When a man harms the Republic, when a woman knowingly, conscientiously take money that belongs to Bapulu County, and that woman uses that money on herself and her family, she's killing our children. When the Minister of Finance of our Republic take money that belongs to Bumi County and uses money to only send his children to top-level private schools and deny education to literally the entirety of Bumi County, that is an enemy to us all. He is worse than a demon from hell. You cannot feel pity for this man. You cannot, under any circumstances, care about this person, because this person is an evil person when it comes to the affairs of Liberia. Do not feel sorry for people who do not feel sorry for us. I beg you, don't feel sorry for people who do not sorry for us. You got to understand what Samuel Toy is doing right now, going from radio station. I understand he's on the other network lying because he knows what's going to happen. The entire team of his lawyers, the team from the government, Everybody was on this panel that did the investigation. Nobody was left out. And 25% of the young seditionists that we gave, or the Weashins, because seditionists are no longer falling for this, 95% of Liberians are beginning to see that their country must go forward. It is a small 5%, this very small 5% who believe that they will follow somebody who's killing their future, who's killing their children's future, who is dooming this country. I want you to open your eyes and see what this man has done to our country. There is no witch hunt here, and there is nothing wrong with hunting witches in Liberia. If a witch is trying to destroy Grand Cape County, we must stop that witch. I say burn him to the stake. This witch does not belong in a civilized society. If a witch is going to destroy Nima County, we must burn that witch to the stake. Hunting witches is a very good thing. Hunting witches is not a bad thing. Don't let anybody lie to you. Say, oh, that witch hunt. Yes, we're supposed to be hunting witches in Liberia. Grab your pitchforks. In our case, your grab your bebaron collar. You hunt the witches. Because these witches will destroy our country if we do not consequence these witches. Something has to give. Liberia must be protected at all costs. One man, one woman, or a handful of women and men cannot hold this country hostage while we all just continue to wallow in its filth that is Liberia. To get the kind of transformation that we desperately need in society, we must take no prisoners. We must be constitutionally brutal when it comes to the affairs of this state. Constitutional order, without any plea for any man, for any kind. We must do this for 20 years. Constitutional order. Trust me, if we do that, Liberia will become a middle-income country, and then we have catapulted ourselves into another realm of development, and then we can begin to push toward modernity, toward becoming a first world society. A first world society. To get to a first world society, we must break the chains. We must break the chains. We must break all the medicine. We must break all the Masonic crowd. We must break everything that holding Liberia back, and we must not feel sorry for it. Because the lives of our children must be better than our own lives. If Liberia is going to grow, we must feel pity for no man that is intent, that is bent on destroying Riverside County. We must not feel pity for that man. Anybody who take government money and uses that money just for himself and his children, that man should have no place in Liberia. The courts must rule equitably, fairly, justly. The court must do it in the open. Anybody who's trying to come now to the public to appear as though he or she is a victim after we know what they have stolen aggressively in our society, anybody, the 5%ers, this is you I appeal to, because 95% of Liberians understand this. They love their country. There is this 5% of Liberians who use the gullibility of themselves and allow vainglorious men, empty men, bottom feeders to continue to destroy this country. Do not stand by people who did not stand by you, who destroyed the lives of our children. You cannot stand by these people. They are evil people. Evil people. Do not stand by men and women that have destroyed Magibi County. You must not stand by them. People who have destroyed the mighty Grand Jide County, we cannot stand by them. We must stand singularly, entirely, totally by Liberia. And no man, I don't care who he is. This country must go to our children in a better position. And I will continue to urge you across the country, pray for Liberia, love Liberia, live Liberia. And together we can get this country into the realm of development. And to do that, we cannot have pity on anybody. If somebody believes that only their children are more valuable than all the children out of Nima County, that man does not have any place in my Liberia. Let me talk again. If somebody personally believes that their children are more important than all the children of Lofa County, that person should have no place in Liberia. That person must be ostracized. That person must be hunted down and completely destroyed because we will not mortgage the future of our children so one man can enjoy and ride air condition and drive BB car while all the children in Riverside continue to drink dirty water. That man must have no place in our country. No place in our country. We must put him in jail for 50 years, for 100 years. If he left on one, in a case above $5,000 with corruption, that person should be executed. This is how serious this is for me. This thing continues to doom Liberia, and we pass it around and we joke around with it. And when somebody read it after the nasty, heavy friend of Liberian people, we go to all that way showing, hey man, the only man won us before. Told this country, praise nobody in the of Liberia was making more than $7,000. Let me repeat that. In the Republic of Liberia, were making more than $7,000 a month. If Summit 12 were making $7,000 a month, let's carry it to $10,000 to be safe. Put a benefit inside, carry it to $10,000. After government taxes, everything, maybe he would make like $7,500. Can you send $7,500, 5 children to boarding school in Ivory Coast? Can you build a massive mansion, several in Ivory Coast? Can you build a massive mansion in Morovia? Can you live the kind of opulence that you've never lived in your life? Can you pay $23,000 for a first class plane ticket to fly across the globe? Can you take all your children to lavish vacations across the globe? I'm not a rich man, but every time I took my children on vacation, I will not spend less than $15,000, $20,000. So I know it's not cheap. Every time I took my children to Liberia, minimally, I would spend $20,000 just to take my 3 children and my wife to Liberia. So I know it's not cheap. So these boys were spending our money, the money that can be put in clean water into Fish-Sesto High School. You go to Riverside today, the high school is leaking. Go to Fishtown. And one man take that kind of money here, won't whack it. Then you'll sit down around that man. You'll say the man said that wish on. Please, by God, hum the witches. And let Liberia breathe. I mean, I want to see Liberia develop before I die. What the Ghanaians have done, they've shown us the way that you can put B-Man in jail for 20 years. Me, as they put in jail, let them boss rock. Let put on better yada roll. Let them boss rock. Let go into bond and pave all the road and put crush around all the road in Bond Lima County. Let them boss rock. Let no dusty road be in Liberia. Let put it right there on the road. Personal coup. If you steal from my people, look at the desperation of our country. Look, see how many young Liberian women are taking drugs across the country. I want you to look on the screen today. Look at our women. Look at these young girls. Most of these girls here between the age of 16, maybe to 24 years old. The future of our country being infested with drugs while we sit and we put our hands between our legs and we think this is okay. Who is going to protect the future of these young women? How are we supposed to fortify the future of these young women? How are they supposed to find their proper husbands, to raise proper Liberian children? If we siphon, if we fleece the coffers of the Liberian government, how are these women supposed to get a husbands and provide for this republic proper Liberian family? Look at the men, the young Liberian men that are on drugs because we took the small money. A few men, they wanted, if you won't be rich, go plant potato green factory. Go buy the swamp, buy the 10-acre swamp, you plant potato green. You will become a rich man. That means Opa talking. I'm not kidding. Go take snail from Lima County. You open your snail farming. Snail can eat potato green. It can eat non-fuel leaf. It can eat collard green. You put your snail there. You every month you harvest snail. You carry snail to the market. You become a millionaire from selling snail. Plenty of things we can do in Liberia. But for you to come to government, you're a procurement officer. When people bidding for a government contract, everybody will give you money. You say the contract at $1 million, you'll make it $1.5 million. You take that money right out of Bomi County. Now $500,000, where they put all that money, they coming from out of Bomi County. It coming strictly out of Bapuru County. And that money, you take it, divide among yourself. You passing it around, your arm, get it, my brother Jerry Dobie can say, get a rising under your arm. You passing it around, just say you invented a new coupa. Just say you designed a new bathtub. Just say you came up with a new app, a new algorithm to make sure we reduce malaria. Like you develop a new vaccine and you became rich from it. We killed this country. Young people, please, I hold your phone. Do not feel sorry for men and women that are killing us. Do not feel sorry for any government official. Yes, that's including the president. Any government official who deliberately, intentionally, conscientiously take the people's money and uses that money just for him and his family and his 17 concubines. And then he doom our country. Makalu, they think it made me it can once I don't want to sit down. We're not supposed to be in the people country will be suffering, be working 2 job, 15 job, double dead, all kind of yama. We're supposed to be home. Me, I won't lie to nobody. I won't be home swallowing serious domo with real coffee from the St. John River. I won't go to Buchanan. I lay my head down. I get ready. I go into Kima. I go to the village up there. I go into Bomi, where I can be in my own country. But we got to come and hustle because we destroy home. Can we own destroy home for once? This is all I ask. Let's own destroy home. And part of the process to own destroy home is to make sure a man is held liable both punitively and compensatorily for his action that he commits against our republic. We must have no mercy for criminals that will doom us all. Any person that want to kill the entirety of Liberia, that want to kill our children out of bond in my county, that want to make sure our children in sickly pee and not drinking clean water, that man should have no place in Liberia. Anybody who believes the case in Moe don't deserve the same thing that the case in Boston, Massachusetts get, that person deserves nothing. My 3 kids moved to college this year. They all will be in college. I'm empty nester, y'all. All my kids are going to college. I'm done. They're gone. I know the amount of money I'm going to pay. Can no children in Liberia get the same privileges that my children have gotten since they were born? How is it possible? We have the resources to do this. We have this nostalgic feeling about Liberia. I still remember every time my grandmother would propose me, my father would drop me up in the village up in rural bombing, or people call it rural Mosorado. We miss that because we had to run away. And a few people, they want to drive a Lamborghini in Liberia that they have not earned. They want to drive BB SUV that they have in a million years will not be able to buy for themselves. This country has to develop. This country must develop. And we must not feel sorry for criminals. I don't care whether he wears a $10,000 suit. Put chains on him and make him pick up garbage across our city. Let him bust rack until he dies. This is what's going to develop Liberia. There must be brute constitutional order, without favor, without fear, without mercy. This is how we develop, and this is how every single society has developed, from the Americas to the French to the British. Every single society that has developed, they have been brutally honest about how they enforce their laws. In Liberia, we use pity to destroy our children's future. We have to destroy Liberia by being direct, intentional about the affairs of this state. And as I leave you today, remember to always pray for Liberia, and remember our country must and is more than capable of becoming second to none if we become intentional about Liberia. Once again, man, my name is Ensu Opadwalu, and as always, it's a pleasure to be here with you. God willing, see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, Liberia developing. This is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way. JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The class reloaded, we're shining today. Hey, oh.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The class reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The class reloaded.
Support development.
The class reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The class reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The class reloaded.
Support development.
The class reloaded.
Who better arise again?